That's it. We are live. Today is Thursday, the 16th of August, 2018. It's going fast now, isn't it, guys? We're already halfway through August. Anyway, on the panel so far, we have Kosta, we have Astral, we have Patricia, and then we've got guests, Roxanne, we've got Levana. Levana's from Hawaii. Obviously, everybody knows Roxane Glen. And then we should have Aaron Krieshok in a little bit to talk about Project Lumen. So, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Levana, can I just ask you, do we call you Levana or do we call you, somebody had to say it?
Right? Yeah, no, you can call me Levana. Yeah.
Or can we call you Flat Earth Chick?
Right? I know. I've changed up my name a couple times, but yeah. Yeah, Levana.
Hey.
I know.
Yeah, for Levana, I put out one of your little videos the other day. Another Flat Earth lady warrior.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. I really appreciate you doing that. You know, I just really, you know, it's really, and the more, you know, I take the time to look at the sky and see what's happening, and it's happening all over the world. It's like, I just, you know, I really feel like I need to be putting this stuff out there. And if anything, it's like, you know, it's a call for action for people to stand up and speak out about it. And basically, you know, say that we do not consent, because we've got this, you know, we've got this U.S. legal code, Title 50. It was under the Patriot Act that they came up with this legislation that, for the most part, it legalizes, it makes them allowed to use human subjects for experimenting with chemical agents and biowarfare. And, you know, and this law is like made public, and, you know, it's considered known because it's made public. And so basically, if something is known and uncontested, then that's called acquiescence. And basically that's what it is our silence is consent. And we all know, I mean, well, maybe not all of us, but if you've taken any time to do the research and you actually, you know, look at the sky, you can see, you know, that they are spraying something in the sky, and what they're spraying is toxic chemicals, and we're being poisoned. And, you know, aluminum is a neurotoxin, and we're experiencing all kinds of, you know, health problems related to that. And, you know, and then there's the bees being killed, and colony collapse disorder is a very major issue going on right now. And so, you know, I'm putting it out there. It's like speaking up. And even if our actions today, you know, don't really affect any real change, it's like just the fact that one person stands up and says, this is not okay, you know, that gives other people the courage and permission to do the same. And it's like, we're never going to get anywhere until, you know, people band together and stand up and say something about these things that are happening. And
it's exactly, sorry to interrupt you, Levana, but it's exactly correct that what you say, you know, when one person says, no, I don't agree with this, and someone says to you, yeah, but you can't do anything about it, there,
right,
I have to say to them, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing something about it. First, I'm complaining about it to you. And then if we're two people complaining about it together, or to you, or to whoever it might be, you know. And that's what we need to do. We need to get together and make our point to the powers that be, you know, that we're not standing for this. We're not accepting it. And like you said, acquiescence, right? So if they say in the newspaper, we're doing human testing with this new drug on people, and this is a drug, it's called ABCDEFG 1, 2, 3, or whatever, because they've put it in the newspaper that they're testing this new drug on humans, does that make it then, is that viable that, well, we've tested it, we've given notification, does that make it correct to use? Because we see,
right,
you can look in the newspaper or online and find human testing or drug testing, whatever, you know, to find new drugs that are coming on the market that they want human subjects to test for them. And you'll be paid rewarded handsomely, you know, you'll get your $20 or whatever it is they'll give you, you know, and run the risk of whatever disease you might, you know, obtain. But I mean, what I'm saying is, if they put it in the newspaper or if they put it in writing, we're testing humans, we're testing this drug to see what reactions they have. If they do that, are they covering their asses in some way? I yield the floor. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I know. And so, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, sometimes I battle with that where I think, yeah, you know, I can get out on the side of the road with signs and protest, but what good is that really going to do? But, you know, the bottom line is that, you know, I would rather die knowing that I tried to make a difference instead of just, you know, throwing my hands up in the air quietly. Like, you know, it's, you know, to know the things that I know and not say anything and not do anything. It's like, I can't live with myself. And we need to break the spell of apathy, because I think that's really, you know, what is plaguing us in humanity in general is this sense of, you know, powerlessness and apathy for what's going on. It's like we hear about all these terrible things being done by powerful people, but believe that we don't have the power to really change it. And, you know, and that mindset is and reverberates through generations, you know, and so it's like, yeah, we may not actually see any real change happen today, but, you know, it's like, what about, you know, future generations? It's like, we got to think beyond self and just what's happening in our lives and how it's going to affect me. It's like, you know, what can I do today to make some kind of imprint on future generations, you know, and like maybe what I do today might inspire the next generation to act and to be different and, you know, do things that are gonna change the pattern. So yeah, and you know, and then the other thing too is I just wanted to throw in there, you know, that there are solutions, and yes, we are being poisoned. And, you know, these electromagnetic frequencies are another big issue, especially with the bees. Like, I think that probably is causing the colony collapse disorder more than anything. There's things that can protect us, like orgonite. You can take things to detoxify metals from the body, like colloidal silver or ionic silver and zeolites. And you know, so I just want to throw that out there. Like, if you do the research, there is a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of, you know, natural remedies and things that can protect us. Ken Rolla is really good. He's got a lecture he did on surviving chemtrails, and he's got so much information in there about all these different things you can take, supplements and whatnot, that, you know, to protect yourself. So yeah, because sometimes it seems pretty glum, you know, like, you know, what can we do? This is the air we're breathing, but there are ways to combat it. So I want to throw that out there too.
Yeah, thank you for all you do. You're quite outspoken and you get quite a hard time on Facebook, don't you?
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I appreciate you uploading that video and getting it out there even more. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna do what I can on my part. You know, I'm trying to organize something here locally, and like I said, if anything, you know, just to help give people that feeling of empowerment and inspire them to you know, to speak up and have a voice. And so hopefully I can get some people on board, but it's kind of hard. It's really kind of hard to find people that are willing to you know, step outside of their comfort zone to be part of something bigger, but hopefully it'll come together.
Okay, well, thank you for all you do. I was going to go to Roxanne, but she's just dropped off because she says that her camera's not working properly, so she'll be back in a moment, hopefully. She's just rebooting her camera. Well, Kosta, very quickly to you then. Kosta's on holiday next week and he's going to visit a star fort.
Yeah, I'm going to Cyprus. I'm going to Nicosia to see the star fort there, which is basically, I grew up there and I was around it all the time. But thanks to you guys, I found out more about it because I thought it was part of the Venetians that built it. That's what the history said. But after research and after listening to Joy Rocha, I think it's not what they say. Like everything else, like all the lies you've been told, it's something older, and also Martin is flat Earth Swedish. Martin Leakey, he's also into it, and he explains it much better. So I'm going to take some pictures, some videos, and hopefully make a live connection and talk about it. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Hey, we look forward to seeing your stuff about that. You're going to take some pictures, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a video because actually I wanted to make like a movie about it. Because I have friends there who are into cinema, they're actors and they make movies. I was going to tell them a idea to make a movie, but now with this subject, I think it's much more interesting. And I want to talk with historians who know about this, because definitely it wasn't as they say. It must be something much older and part of the previous civilization.
Because we don't know much about Star Wars, do we?
Yeah, it's so interesting. That video you posted, you see how many in the world and so similar, and from America to Japan and in Russia, so many. Yeah, it must be something.
There's loads of them. Loads of. It's really great to hear those chickens, Levana. Hawaiian.
I know, right? Yeah, they're constant, day and night.
Is it Levana?
Just say that Flat Earth Dude's joined us. Hi, Flat Earth Dude.
Hey, everybody. How we doing?
Hi, Flat Earth Dude.
We're on with Kosta and Levana, and Roxanne was here, but she's got to reboot her computer, and Aaron's coming on.
Excellent.
And the Astral Thief. All right there, Flat Earth Dude. How are you doing?
Well, you're part of it. Patricia's here and Astral's here.
You let Astral on here?
Yeah.
Good to hear you guys. I'll be listening. I'm driving around, so I'll be in and out. But you guys carry on, and I'll pop in here in a minute.
Good stuff, Kenny. Nice, man.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Yes.
So, well, as we're waiting for Roxanne and Aaron to join back on, and we've got Levana for a bit. Levana, what else are you doing then? Or is this your main thing, is about the bees and chemicals in the sky?
Well, I'm doing other stuff. I mean, I've got my Facebook page. Somebody had to say it. And trying to get back on YouTube more. They deleted my YouTube channel. I had like almost 3,000 subscribers, and they took down my channel. And so I got pretty discouraged after that. I haven't really been making things since then, but I'm trying to get motivated to do that again, and working with some flat earth truther musicians on making music videos for their songs. I've got a couple of like a rap group that I'm working on a video for called I Am a Vegan. And then I don't know if you know Amber Plaster, but I'm going to make another video for one of her flat earth songs. So excited about that. So yeah, I'm trying to rebuild my YouTube channel and just keep being, active in the truth community as far as raising awareness and researching stuff and sharing it with people. But so other than that, just a lot of time on Facebook, that's for sure.
I have a question, not just to you, Levana, but to everybody. Think now, how could we progress this flat earth phenomenon? How could we make it bigger? How can we make it more in the ears and in the face of every listening and that's looking, How can we make it
Well, Astral,
apparent?
You're on the panel here with two women who are desperately trying to make sure everybody knows about it. And Flat Earth Dude takes us around as well. So we are trying. They are trying.
Karen, I'm aware of that. But what I mean is, like, now we have to think not just differently, but totally outside the box. Forget about even a box. We're thinking outside of a line, like, think obscure in that sense. I know, Roxanne, you're out there, like with John Smith Global Eye and many others that are doing their flat earth, activism, which is awesome.
It's awesome.
We all do it. You know, when we flat smack somebody, that's flat earth activism at its finest, really. You know, I'm really flat smacking somebody now, one of my neighbours, and he's buying into it. You know, he's looking into things.
For everyone doing it, I think for everybody that's out there, I think it boils down to just real life human interaction. I remember saying it in one of my first hangouts. You know, you can go out and an individual, but we could all do it.
Hang on a second. Who's making that noise?
It's a wind. Dang it. I'm in the wind. Hold on.
Sorry. No, I couldn't hear what Roxanne was saying.
I think when we reverse engineer all of the structured conversations we have with people, it boils down to human interaction. And for me, after being awake, the ability to carry on with the mundane conversations that people want to have on a daily basis became incredibly difficult for me. And I'm assuming a lot of other people can relate to that too. You have this feeling of saying, so what, when people are telling you the mundane things that they're talking about, the TV shows that they're talking about, the dilly-dallying at the supermarkets, you know, the price of bread, the price of milk, the deal on chicken, which no one should be doing from the supermarket in the first place. And where people didn't really want to give me any airtime talking about alternative things, I ended up having, you know, the word "so what" coming to mind a lot. And instead of saying "so what" to people, I ended up saying, right, well, nothing gained, nothing lost. If I say "so what," there's nothing going to be gained from this conversation anyway. So if I'm going out, I'm going out with a bang. So I would always end up dropping some kind of truth in there, i.e. the moon landings being faked, i.e. the government's lying, i.e. everything's monetized anyway. The Trilateral Commission owns everything that we integrate with in the first place. Let's talk about that. No, don't want to talk about that. Well, it was better than saying "so what." Adios, bye. And then the conversation's done anyway, you know? So Roxanne, every human interaction, that's what it boils down to. The more of that we can have, the better.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
I saw something absolutely crazy yesterday. It's only yesterday. I mean, I've been a flat earther for years now, right? But yesterday I saw this and it blew me away. So Nixon is talking on the phone to Neil Armstrong, and in the background is a picture of the Earth from the moon. I just found this yesterday. I'm like, what? I didn't know about that already, man. So if there's any people thinking that we went on the moon, check that video out, man. And you can find it very easily. It's been broadcast by so many, you know, networks and what have you. And they're filming Nixon in the Oval Office or wherever it was, White House. And he's on the phone to Neil Armstrong. And in the background is that picture of the Earth from the moon.
A key factor in raising awareness of flat Earth in general, like to lead people into it, is exposing NASA. When you expose NASA, it kind of makes everything fall apart, where they realize that this view they had of what they believed to be truth concerning, you know, the cosmos suddenly comes into question because, you know, NASA is the authority on it, right? But once we discredit them, then it opens it up for them to see, okay, we've been lied to. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I completely agree with that. Even when people don't want to talk about other things, they are open to the conjecture that NASA might not be telling 100% truth. I think that's the best form of sparking up the conversation. But with regards to what you're saying, Astral, with where do we go from here? Where is it going to move forward? I think the only way it can move forward is for the subject to be socially accepted. And the only way the subject will be socially accepted is if it keeps being spoken about in public. People stay in the closet, people feel covered about it. It's not going to work. It will work if we start talking to the ladies at Walmart. It will work if we talk to guys in Texaco. It will work if we have those conversations, if we're parents and we're going to school, if we're at the doctors. Every human interaction you have, there should be minimum 5% of it should be spent trying to direct it in that way. And if we can just all leave the hat of, well, what if I get ridiculed? What's, you know, it's better than standing there and mind numbing yourself to a mundane conversation that's going nowhere, you know?
Yeah, but you know, I kind of feel that it doesn't matter who you talk to, more and more people are awake to the fact that, yeah, okay, we didn't land on the moon. They realize NASA is, you know, a lying organization. stealing money, 52 million apparently every day, for years and years and years and years. And you know, I mean, how long are they going to keep carrying on with this charade? Because it is. And now, no, but and, you know, they propagate the lie with, oh, we just found water on Mars, and we just found this there, and we've just, you know, it's like, what? Either people are just absolutely dumbfoundedly dumb. That was not a correct sentence, but you know, the people are just so stupid, dumb, or you know, they're just I can't fathom how anybody can believe this bullshit any longer. I mean, it's like it's ripping apart at the seams, isn't it?
500 years, Astral. They've only been buying into it for about 500 years. It's not even
no,
that
but I'm
long
talking about NASA. NASA's only like 49-year-old, isn't it? It's 1969, right? But what I'm saying is, from a NASA's point of view, because up until NASA went up into the air, we didn't know. Well, okay, you've got Picard, who went up in his balloon, right? Mm-hmm. He was the first person, or one of the first, anyway, in that sense. But NASA, it's NASA that's fed us all this that we're led to believe. So if you're writing the storybook and you're NASA, hey, what do you want to write? You can write anything. I saw how is it that Ditra says? A pink unicorn in a tuxedo. Does it look right?
Yeah.
Or is it a pink unicorn in a running suit or whatever? I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's craziness, total craziness. And we're led to believe it every single day. Not only that, they're writing books that our children are led to believe. They're writing, coming with lectures and all sorts of things. These scientists, supposed scientists, this is factum, this is the truth, this is how it is. And it isn't.
Yeah, was the pinnacle of that, right? I think that as soon as whatever his name was, Newton, the Principia that he wrote in 1887, that book there that he wrote, his considered as the greatest science book ever, the Principia. That was, his study of the notion of gravity and applying it to the motions of Earth. Now, 1687 isn't actually that long ago in the bigger scheme of things. I can't actually trace my lineage beyond 1746. That's as far as I can go back with my lineage. Can't actually breach further back than before the lie. But before the lie, they were walking around knowing that they weren't on a ball. And any other conjecture that comes in, I'd have to seriously scrutinize and say, right, the winners are writing the history books, aren't they? We're living through the modern day version of that now. We're living through the modern day version of the moon landings now, with them trying to style out that they put a car into space and whatnot for this generation. So I think, the fact that the lie is not even, it's just about 500 years old, apparently. But, how many of us can trace our own lineage back and actually get solid handed down knowledge from our own families? We've been disconnected from our own families. I can't even, I know I've said it before, but I can't personally name my grandmas 4 or 5 grandmas back. I'm disconnected from that. I don't know them by their first name. I don't know of them by their first name. So it's quite easy to conceive that within 500 years, the pile of crap that we've been given as a civilization to absorb as the truth is so far from what the actual truth is. And when people go on as if people have known this for thousands of years, and they haven't. They just haven't known it for thousands of years. They
changed it over to a ball in the 60s, even though they've been talking about it for a bit. But they're lying about history because they didn't. They thought we were on a flat plane. It's the 1960s that actually did it.
Yep.
Only 60 years ago, and look at the indoctrination.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just explain to Levana, in case she doesn't know who you are, Roxanne. Roxanne has started to go with John Smith Globli, who's been in the chat room. He has his own channel and goes out doing activism and asking people about flat Earth. And Roxanne's been going to Hyde Park in London, which is a place, Speaker's Corner. And she's been going there with people, and she goes there with John Smith, and they're also out doing activism that way. taking banners, talking
That's
to people.
awesome. That is awesome. I applaud you. Yeah, we need more people like you.
There's loads.
To,
there's so many
out
people,
there.
the amount of people I'm seeing on a weekly basis getting out there. There was a bunch of people in Times Square, New York, the other day. John Smith just did his tour of the Highlands of Scotland. He's been all across the UK. There's people in Canada out there on the streets. I mean, you know, even 007, a musician that's out in Tenerife, he's out there, you know, off the west coast of Africa, talking to people about it. And, you know,
Hey, can I just ask you something, right? Martin Kenny was interviewed on the TV, was it a week or two ago, right?
Mm.
How was that taken? Was anything put in the press about that afterwards, or not, or what?
Yeah, there was a few bits and pieces that were put in the press, but you know how the mainstream is. You know how the mainstream is. The mainstream is so subverted, man. You can't really guarantee that they're going to give us a good shout. So I haven't seen any main articles about it at all whatsoever. No articles about it.
Yeah, okay, well, I suppose I'm going off now. You know, no news is good news, but I mean, it's always nice to have it out in the open so that we can, all right, defend it or attack it, depending on however it is they perceive to, you know,
but I feel
show us.
The mainstream media's desperate attempts now to try and put the reins on this. It's out of control as far as the mainstream media is concerned. See, when you've got the likes of John Smith Global in the UK that's doing the amount of mileage that he's doing, even just the other day, he met up with John Thor and went out into Ironbridge, like a beautiful little town. There's almost, we're running out of places to think of in the UK that they haven't been to yet. And I think the more that snowballs out into the international realm, I think there's going to be nowhere for the mainstream media to hide. They're not going to be able to put the reins and put their narrative on this, because unbeknownst to them, we're already out there going live, you know, giving the information to the general public about what's being said, how these conversations are going down. Yeah, we're putting out edited versions, but there's live versions going out as well. So you can kind of put the pieces together yourself and you can see how genuine the content is at the end. So, you know, even if the mainstream media want to try and dig their claws in, you know, the amount of red, you know, I'm just going to say as well, Plain Ranger, the amount of red pills that I've seen that guy drop, the red pills that have been dropped now, I think we're now getting to the point where we're getting to a tipping point of people that have been made aware. Whether they're open to it or not is another story, but I've lost count of the amount of people that aren't aware of it in the sense where they've absorbed it, but they know a friend that knows. So they've stopped to speak to me, but they've only speak to me because they've gone, you know, oh yeah, my friends have been talking about this now. And they kind of look around as if they're making sure that no one else is watching. They're like, okay, yeah, tell me more, because I want to know more. But it's like they don't want to have that conversation with their friends. So it's like, if they don't know, they know someone that knows, or a family member that knows, or they've been in a group of friends where someone that tell a friend.
I think, you know, so Roxanne, I think basically what we need to do is, you know, grab ourselves by those that have got balls, grab ourselves by the balls, squeeze them and say, are you a man or not? I mean, wake up and stand up for your flipping rights, you know.
That's it. That's
say
exactly
what you mean and mean what you say.
Yeah.
You know, when people say we're living on a globe that's spinning around the... Hang on a sec.
Yeah,
Roxanne.
go on. Yeah,
people say we're living on a globe spinning around the sun, right? Well, if that's the case, how the... Excuse this expletive, but how the hell are we seeing the same constellations year after year, night after night, month after month? Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be spinning off into infinite nothingness, right? Apparently. It ain't so, because if it was so, we would not see the constellation Capricorn or Pisces or Cancer or whatever it is. Again, we'd see it once and that would be it. You'd see that constellation up in the stars, that picture of the night sky. You'd see it once, move along, because we're going from that now. We're away. And we're going how fast? 666,000 miles an hour, isn't it?
That's it. And look how much awareness is being made of things like the moon and stuff. I mean, Dave Marsh is just one person I'm going to mention, but he's just a regular person like us who's dedicated a lot of his personal time to paying attention to one particular aspect. Do you know how humbled I was when I was at Speaker's Corner and people were approaching me with questions that I couldn't answer, and I was able to point to the left or the right of me and say, no, I can't answer that question, but I know a man who can. There you go. Speak to that guy there. So the more that we come out of the closet and the more that we come forward and say, listen, this is what I've been looking at. This is the information I've come across. These are my observations. Don't take my word for it. Observe those observations, repeat them, test them, and see if we can measure them. Get the metadata, get it all sorted. But we are going to need people to slow down to do that. You know, I'm me for one, I'm not that person, but I know that we collectively as human beings, we've got some of the best researchers, some of the best analysts, some of the best public speakers, some of the best technological whiz kids.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Man. We've got musicians, we've got, you know, you name it, we've got it. We're all singing, all dancing, all of us. We've all got our own niche.
We are awesome. Let's put it like that. We are awesome.
We're a representation.
We are awesome.
Together,
yeah, of course. But we
together,
as a collective,
and I feel
as a collective are amazing.
Stand up.
You guys are amazing.
Potential. The whole system that the elites have built, which is stood on the foundations of us, will fall apart. And yeah, there will be some choppy waters and it will be a bit of a bumpy road. But I think if we start the journey to not consenting to these things, they did it once upon a time with the fur trade. Yeah, the models went up and down the catwalks with red paint, splaying blood everywhere, saying, listen, this can't carry on. And at the time, people went, who do you think you're kidding? Do you think the big companies are going to listen to you? Eventually, they did have to listen. I'm not going to talk about other things that are a bit more sensitive, but we've had other groups of communities being shunned and one day being taken seriously because they didn't give up, because they didn't give in, and they carried on putting one foot in front of the other and telling people this is wrong. You can't carry on with the lies. So I think that's where we have to go. And even if we can't see it in our lifetime, we need to make sure it's our responsibility as a generation not to drop the baton.
True. You know, even if you're simply as small as a mustard seed, you cannot conquer this rising, growing flat earth. It will not happen. But it's just going to grow. It's going to thrive, survive. It will.
We have to make sure we the next generation. We have to make sure that our children do not drop the baton. We have to make sure that we raise a generation of awake children. That
I don't think there's any. Sorry to interrupt you, Roxanne. I don't think there's any worries of that not happening because it's a natural progression. We are riding a wave now, and this wave is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually everyone succumbs to it, you know, because it's an awesome power. And this, you know, flat earth community, I call it community, this flat earth family, then we're all on the same page. We all know what we're after. We all know what we're looking for, you know, and eventually we will win without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, we are winning. Definitely, we're winning.
Can I ask something to Levana? Levana, do you, because obviously, like Roxanne's just been saying, she goes to Speaker's Corner. So, and John Smith Global Eyes, who's in the chat room, he's been all over the country. Do you feel that Hawaii's ready for this?
You know, I do kind of think so. I know. I think that might be my next step, is that I know on Oahu, the more populated island, there's definitely a lot more flat earth people like Joey Rocha that's like speaking out and actually talking to people, but not so much here on my island. And, you know, maybe I need to be the one to start, you know, publicly speaking about it face to face with people, because, you know, like Roxanne said, that really is the one key factor that's going to, you know, open people up to accepting it as something that is, you know, and you know, questioned. And because I think a lot of people hear about it, you know, on social media and things like that, but it doesn't really become real until they hear it, you know, from someone's mouth and have that face-to-face connection with somebody. So it's definitely not seen so far here on my tiny island. So I do think that is something that I might just have to do. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I was just going to throw in there too that, you know, it really is about persistence. Like they say, a river doesn't cut through rock because of its strength, but its persistence. And we are making a difference, and, you know, staying the course and continuing, you know, to push through, and teaching our children the truth, because that's the key right there. You know, the key to our future for humanity is to, you know, raise children that are awake and aware of what's really going on in this world. It's the only way it's really going to change. And yeah, so, you know, they are the future. We definitely need to focus on the children.
That's right. I'm with you on that one. That they're the future. They're the future. The children have always been the future. Every new generation has always been the future. And I think it's our responsibility to not drop the bat with this one. We've got a responsibility to make sure that we don't go out quietly into the night, that we make sure that the next generation do not drop the ball. They do not start accepting the blue pill. They don't get put back to sleep, and they then raise a next generation of children that are awake. And eventually, even if we can't see it in our lifetime, maybe this has to be a long game, a big time long game, longer than our lifetime game. I would ideally like to see it in my lifetime, but you know, for the worst case scenario to happen and it not be, we have to make sure that once we're gone, our kids don't go, you know, all right, glad that's done with, right back to normality, because normality to them would be going back to sleep, and that's not an option. That's not an option. We can't carry on going.
And if we are relying on the children, and that hopefully some of the things will have changed for these people, so it won't be quite the way consciousness will have changed. It's changing now, isn't it? Even if it's slowly or reluctantly. But you know, I think sometimes when someone can be really rude to you and say, "Oh, that crappy flat Earth," you'll probably find in a few months they will look at it. It might take them 6 months. If it's just arguing.
Yeah, too many people place so much faith in authority and science. It's really such a dangerous religion, and that's what it is. It's a religion, and people have this blind faith in, you know, these authority figures like NASA, you know, telling them what is truth. And it's really, you know, it's like when people can learn how to think critically for themselves, you know, then they can start to break it down and realize these things they believed for so long just are ludicrous and do not make sense in reality. And yeah, we need to like of these core beliefs that are, you know, religious in essence, and be able to think for ourselves.
Yeah, that's another thing they don't want us to do, is to think for ourselves, and that's what we're doing. And they don't like it, do they? I mean, I just think this whole thing, like, you know, obviously in one sense, America, I'm not just saying Americans have it, because we have our own space program, but when you hear like they're in so much debt, why would they want to give 53 million every day to NASA?
I know, it's crazy. It is. Yeah. When there's so many other things that money could be allocated towards, you know, to help humanity, and here we are looking for water on Mars, you know, when people are starving and dying of thirst right here on Earth, yeah. You know.
I've said it before. Karen, did you say 53 million then?
Whatever it was, it's 50 odd million.
Yeah, okay, but I've said it before, Levana, right, that one billionaire is keeping so many people in poverty, if you understand that.
Right.
One person, one little person, you know. So if you're a billionaire listening to this, you're keeping so many people in poverty, you little shit. Do something about it.
Right.
I yield the floor.
Or the amount of money that they spend in one day on military funding in the U.S. could feed like the thousands of people for months. You know, in one day, the amount they spend. It's sickening. Yeah, the places that the money is concentrated, you know, for their gains, as opposed to what could be done with it for humanity. But Yeah, the whole money thing is crazy too. I mean, just really an illusion. There's more than enough for everybody. It's just about greed and with power.
Yeah, and hopefully we're going to hopefully change some of this. It'd be great if NASA goes while I'm still alive. Hey, there is Aaron. Hey, buzzing there, Aaron. Aaron, buzzing.
That's a bad connection, brother. You need to drop out, come in again.
I said let's turn him down. Yeah, really bad connection, Aaron. Let's turn him up and see if it's changed. No. Hey, he'll be back. Always got to be a connection problem or some problem.
Oh, that was nice. I think we're being bugged.
Somebody's watching.
There you go. The fucking NSA or the CIA, man.
The CIA.
Being bugged. We're being bugged.
Aaron.
Aaron, you're being tracked, man.
Somebody's talking
out,
to
bug
the
out.
wire.
He's talking as well, but I can't really hear what he's saying.
Is that better?
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Oh,
No, you want
Don't
know
tell
what that
me.
sounded like?
You left your
know what that
vibrator
sounded like?
wrong. You left your vibrator.
Yeah, he did. Dude, put the vibrator away already.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother, man. Hey, how you doing, Aaron? Nice to see you, man.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
we're
Good.
doing okay. Just to say who's on this hangout, we've got Flat Earth Dude, we've got Patricia, we've got Roxane Glen, we've got Levana Lomma, who you know very well, we've got Astral, we've got Kosta, and me.
Hello, all.
Hey.
Good to be here.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
can I just, I want to follow up on something real quick. We're talking about hitting the streets, right? Tomorrow night, I'm going out with Dan the Waterman, and we are hitting Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, now Flat Earth Dude's got a problem now with signal. Flat Earth Dude, come back!
All right,
Woo.
Oh, man.
We didn't hear all that, Flat Earth Dude. You had a bit of a signal problem.
All right.
Flat Earth
Can you hear
Dude.
me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Say that again.
All right. Tomorrow night, I'm hitting Hollywood Boulevard with a lab coat and a clipboard. And I'm just going to ask people questions with Dan the Waterman on Hollywood Boulevard.
Nice.
So, and we're videotaping and live streaming and hanging out and doing all that. So, should be fun.
Hey, Flat Earth Dude, are you live streaming that for yourself, or do you want to do that through Sun and Moon?
I think Dan the Waterman, he has a brand new channel called Flat Earth Hollywood, and I think we're gonna live stream on that one. But we also are gonna be doing we're also gonna be doing some hangouts. So it's gonna be really, really late for you.
Hey, sounds good. Sounds really good.
That's awesome.
Now you know that Hollywood's full of
We're not gonna
pedophiles, right?
start until like.
Dude, do you hear me?
Where we're going. We
So
will
be
not
weary.
stand
Be
out
weary.
at all. We won't stand out.
A bit of an echo.
No, I'd say put on like a Batman costume, but that wouldn't do it either.
No, we're just gonna so
Bit of a
we'll see,
signal
man.
problem there, Flat Earth Dude. Can't really hear you.
All right. I yield.
Yeah, you a transformer.
I'm a transformer.
Say more than meets the eye.
Yeah, there's a little bit of echo. I'm not sure if it's you, Aaron.
Robots in disguise.
It might be me. Yeah, my
if we all mute and then just unmute when you talk, it might be good.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Let me try something. Tell me if I buzz again.
Yes, buzzing!
Yeah. It's not working.
It's not working.
Just turned you down, Aaron.
Okay. Well, it shouldn't be buzzing anymore. But let me try something else. Give me a minute.
You were buzzing a minute ago.
No, it's fine now.
Is that because of what?
Oh, cool. There's no echo now. It's cool. Oh, it's from somebody.
Well, why did you just say that sentence twice, Karen?
I didn't. I only said it once.
Yeah, you might have thought you said it once, but I heard it twice.
Yeah, I know, but there was a bit of echoing going on. Anyway, just to say before you came on, Aaron, we were sort of talking about our favourite subject, NASA.
What's your favorite subject?
Well, it's not the favourite subject, but one of the favourite ones, NASA.
Oh. I can't hear you until I put the headphones on. What was your favorite subject?
We were just talking about NASA.
Oh, yeah. Good old NASA. What about NASA?
And how they're spending all that money on nonsense. Feeding the public lies, and the people are buying it. Hook, line, and sinker. Yeah.
British
gotta expose them.
Agency are just as bad. They're taking 1.16 million pounds from British taxpayers every day. 1.16 million, and we're only a little country. 1.16 million of UK taxpayers' money a day.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in it as well.
European Space Agency, I think they're about 3 million euros a day.
Just to explain to you, Aaron, obviously you know Flat Earth Dude because you've met him, and we were you were at the California meet, and you were saying hello to us from California with Flat Earth Dude. You know Levana, she's a little warrior. And we've got Kosta. I think you've met Kosta before. He's into etymology and history and so forth, and he loves all that. And then we've got Roxane Glen. She goes out. Obviously, you know Patricia and you know Astral. And Roxane goes out. She's been out in Hyde Park Corner on, you know, the speaker's corner there. And she's been, well, I suppose, is it protesting or what do you call it exactly? Protesting?
Publicly
activism.
Debating about it and activism. Yeah, activism.
We don't like the word protest. It's kind of derogatory.
You ladies kick ass, man. Thank you. Aaron, you're all right. Yeah, Astral. No, you ladies, man, are out there doing so much for the awareness of where we live and that NASA's putting out. And I just want to thank you ladies for getting out there. And, man, it's really inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I show you all my new banner?
Go
Please.
for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna see. You might not be able to see it properly, but I'm gonna do my best.
All right, let's check it out.
Starts
Check it out,
this
man.
small. It's this small to begin with.
Have you folded it up nicely?
Yeah, I'm a bit like obsessed with it, to be honest. It goes into a little bag.
Cool.
So this is it, and I'm gonna try and unravel it the right way, not the wrong way. Okay, I'm gonna have to get up on my chair because it's a 6 foot by 6 foot banner.
6 foot by 6 foot.
So how many square foot is it?
6 by 6.
That'd be
How many square foot is it?
30. Oh my goodness. All right. Wow.
So I'm going to try
bring it down just a touch. Bring it down just a touch.
Wow.
Little.
Yeah, I'm bringing it down and bringing it down and bringing
You
it down.
are being lied to. There you go. That's great. You got the curvature.
Yeah, I'll bring it
there.
So you guys can see a little bit closer, and bring it towards.
You got the different globes. Really nice. Oh, you got the high altitude balloon.
What's that Loch Ness monster doing there? I see you got the curve. You got the curve chart. That's good enough.
Got the curve chart.
I've got the crepuscular rays.
Crepuscular rays.
I've got good old Robert Simmons. Lovely guy.
Robert Simmons. Yay,
Div.
Robert.
Robert, you don't know how much of a div you are, but yeah, we love you.
Henry Cavendish is on there as well. And this
McGravity with the balloons.
Theory, the BS Theory,
wow. Man. That is a heck of a banner, man.
Cool.
Those are the
wow.
I have to say,
Nice.
the amazing Jason of the Disbury family helped me out.
Cops are coming. I gotta go.
No worries, no worries. Speak to them, speak to them. It's got my Instagram on there as well. And it's got a website on it that's got international videos on there from America, from all across the international flat plane of existence.
Nice.
So on this one here, on festart.co.uk, there's a good source of information of Flat Earth Truth and other information, activism videos. There is a
nice.
For the leaflet download, which is this leaflet right here. This leaflet you can download.
Wow.
For free. You can take that to your local printers. You can have them print it off. You know,
nice.
Do whatever you're doing.
I gotta do that.
So yeah, realistically speaking, this is what I'm taking to Speaker's Corner this Sunday.
I need some of those leaflets for Hollywood tomorrow night.
Well done, Roxanne.
Cheers, Karen.
Well done.
Roxanne, can I just explain? You might not know that much about Aaron, but Aaron also has a project going. Aaron, I know we'll talk about it a bit more later on, but do you want to give just a brief thing? Because Roxanne may not have heard about Project Lumen.
Sure. Let's see. Project Lumen is a series of initiatives to change the world, to bring light to the world, to wake up the masses. Essentially, I've been working with technology, software, and consciousness for most of my life, and so I'm applying all that. I have been applying all that to this sort of vision of various vehicles, platforms, online and on plane, to be able to wake people up directly, indirectly, through media, film, music, and you know, a lot of different software ideas that will help to organize our efforts and help us to communicate in a way that Uncle Sam nor anyone else can spy on us. And yeah, so it's a whole basket of tons of things. I could talk for days, as most people here know.
Yeah, it takes about a week and a half, and he'll get. How much time you got, Roxanne?
Roxanne, it's a whole program. It's a whole program. It's about a whole different way of living, changing things with schools, education, medication, NASA, Flat Earth TV, and it goes on.
But isn't that where it needs to go anyway? There is going to have to be massive reform. I mean, the reform is not going to be an easy road. The reform is going to be the choppy water and bumpy road that we're all going to have to go through.
Right.
I think one aspect, and sorry,
it's going to have to happen. It's inevitable for this to stop. The reform has to happen.
Yeah, can I just say, cock-a-doodle-doo,
So the chickens are taking
over. For a minute, I thought Bling Bling was on the panel, but she ain't. It's Levana.
The chickens are taking over.
Roxanne, I would like to say, and also you, Aaron, and what was talking about then? We need to educate. That's where we need to go. We need to educate. Now, I'm not talking like vague. Now, I'm talking like, you know, we need to be on point when it comes to what is factual and what is, bullshit. You know, because half of what we've been led to believe is bullshit. Half of our science curriculum is bullshit.
Can I ask a question to everybody?
For sure.
Including the chat room as well, if it's all right with you, Karen. Do you think moving forward, heavily indoctrinated people could be helpful if they wake up? Do you think, maybe I can clarify the question, the more heavily indoctrinated they are, the more letters they've got after their name. Do you think that they're going to be able to aid and abet us when they wake up?
I'd like to speak to that, actually, because people are waking up now. Those people are waking up right now. I don't know how familiar people are with the QAnon movement, but that's kind of off the charts right now. And there's a lot of stuff coming out in the mainstream finally that's incriminating a number of really bad people, and even people that, you know, were in film and television that, you know, everyone respects, and finds out, oh, they're into some pretty shitty practices. Oh, they've been tweeting some really weird things, you know, and because of this and because of the Q movement, people are waking up. And yeah, none of them are really that flat earth savvy. That's very true. But that's just the next step, you know. That's, and here's some exciting news in that regard is I was just on a panel this last week on that's going to go on Comedy Central in the next before the end of August, supposedly.
Okay. I said, hey.
Hey, and it was about QAnon, but I definitely threw some flat earth in there. And, you know, essentially, like, that's going to wake some more people up to both QAnon and Flat Earth and a number of other things.
Right.
Even though they're going to mock it, you know, and make fun of it, it's still going to get out there. And the people that were on that panel are going to be more known. And, you know, I think it's going to cause some ripples. And so I'm expecting actually pretty quickly here that people are really going to wake up. They're going to be kind of finding out that their fairy tale is not the truth. And so, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, QAnon, right? I mean, I've been following it also since the start, October last year. One of the memes that was uploaded from Q was Flat Earth, right? And it's like, I've barely seen it. It's like barely touched the surface. People are just not even talking about it, you know? But I'm thinking, at some point, this has got to come to fruition. This has got to come back around again. And suddenly everyone's like, wow, I mean, are they hiding this from us as well? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking in some ways, I'm more led to believe this QAnon is all bollocks in a sense. There's a lot of truth in it, for sure. I mean, things that are, you know, not right and wrong and, you know, pedophilia and all this kind of stuff that we're hearing about. And we know it's true because they're getting jailed and they're getting, you know, sentences and what have you.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more in the Flat Earth aspect of it, that soon it will become announced about this, Q and Flat Earth, Q and Flat Earth. Well, what's the connection here? Is it as it may seem to be, or is it totally something else, if you know what I mean? I think it's kind of more leaning towards this is an awakening for us. It's like a little push forward, a little nudge. Look, wake the flip up, man. Look what's about. It's not just about paedophilia and things. Now we're talking about the shape of the earth, you know, because they have hinted at it a few times. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Absolutely, yeah. There's been a few files that have made its way into the Q meme research section that were Flat Earth. Some really good stuff, actually, where they outlined a series of memes that were essentially documents from Lady Blunt and various others, and it has like a timeline. So it kind of shows a timeline from the late 1800s to like the late 1930s, showing how Flat Earth was surfacing. There were these questions, and there was also another section that was on Hollow Earth, and it had a lot of the same kind of stuff. You know, it talked about Admiral Byrd and various other things. And so what's interesting now is those folders are gone. So that's one interesting thing to me is, you know, they were there and they took them out. There was only like, there was barely anyone who even noticed them. But it shows that there is definitely something there, right? I think they're consciously not really trying to bring up the Flat Earth thing too much in association because it will kind of, in most people's minds, discredit it, right? And I also, it's possible, you know, that QAnon or the group behind them were the ones that sort of leaked Flat Earth in 2015 or so, and just kind of put it out there and seeded it into the mainstream. It could be, you know, one of the people, one of the main YouTubers or flat earthers could be, you know, a plant in that way that was just put there for that purpose, to kind of just help push it along. You know, I'm not going to say any names because I hate drama, but you know, it's possible, and that wouldn't necessarily mean that they were a shill. That just mean that, like, you know, they're part of something bigger. And I think that's the whole point here, is that the QAnon movement is bigger than any one person, and it exemplifies that in many of the Q drops that we see, you know, and how it's even just the where we go one, we go all. You know, that is a very unifying vision and approach and strategy. And, you know, and so most of the things that come out of it are very positive and unifying and empowering, because it's saying, do your own research. You know, it's kind of, it's a concert, if you will, of, like, you know, various people and positions along with the people of the world working together to do research. You know, the people ask Q questions, Q answers with tidbits. Go ahead.
I just want to say a lot of people are discrediting it. It's already been debunked by somebody, you know, that it's all a LARP and this, that, and the other. But I mean, I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt, in that sense that, you know, I'm not trusting anything, but I'm reading between the lines and I'm reading outside of the lines, and things that have occurred, you know, as of late, you know, this aeroplane, this island, this, you know, we know what's been going on, right? You're in the loop. If anyone doesn't know, then they should, I don't know, go on YouTube and have a look about a plane that's been, you know, taken by an airport employee that doesn't even know how to fly a plane, and does a loop-de-loop. I mean, that figures, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much going on, and so much that, you know, it's like they're begging for attention, begging to be looked at. You know, I mean, it's like it beggars belief, really, seriously. Why is it not on TV? Why is it not in the mainstream? And the only reason I can presume is because they don't want it in the mainstream. They're avoiding it at all costs, you know, and that tells you something, doesn't it?
It does.
If they're avoiding putting it up there, they don't want it up there for a reason.
But in the last week, there's been, I don't know, 600 or something, 600 mainstream media articles and things on QAnon, and it's all, you know, accusing it to be a crazy right-wing conspiracy theory and all this. But that to me is a little suspicious, because, you know, if the mainstream doesn't really want us to know about something, they don't tell us about it. So it's just kind of like, why is it so prominently out there, you know? But at the same time, if the narrative that Q is kind of expressing is correct, then, well, the deep state is being taken down. And then we see all these accusations coming out very recently about all these mainstream celebs and people in Hollywood that are, you know, have perhaps pedophilia or even worse, you know, backgrounds and stories that people are starting to come out. I mean, a lot of people are coming out. Survivor stories, it's coming out. Like, it's coming out a lot. Like Isaac Cappy, he you know, came out like 2 weeks ago, and he started talking about various people. And then now there's other people, and he's kind of leading the charge in the sense that he's constantly getting on Periscope and various other platforms, just, you know, inviting people to come out with their stories, because and it's happening. It's happening in mass, and then we see the thing that just happened like 2 days ago with the grand jury that has like an 844-page dossier on how all of these, there's been all of this pedophilia going on in the church, and the Vatican knew about it, and they've been covering it up. And, you know, a lot of people are going to jail right there, and that's completely, you know, exposing that it has been going on. And so the idea that QAnon is a conspiracy theory, well, it seems to be pretty factual. It seems to be that the evidence is showing us that there is something to it. And I honestly, the more I look into it, the more I've been following it, the more and more I do believe that. Now, I'm not, you know, like you, Astral, I'm always taking everything with a grain of salt. And, you know, you probably won't see me at Trump rallies. But, you know, there is a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of validity, and I feel it spiritually. I feel it in that the world is waking up, and this is just it's a catalyst for it, and it's helping us to kind of come together against what is our common enemy, which are these forces that have taken over the state and the various, you know, branches and industries of the world, that now they've controlled things for how long, and we all know that. That's not any sort of disagreement here. We all know that there are bad people that have been doing bad things, and overall leveraging that power over the masses. And here we are, and we're seeing the results of that. And they've convinced everyone that we're on a spinning ball flying through a vacuum. They've convinced everyone that that money is a natural resource, which we only have a finite amount of, and so, you know, we need to conserve our money. So I mean, I could go on and on. We all know there's this force that's been against us. Well, wouldn't it make sense that if in actuality this is a good reality, this is a good place to be, it's not intrinsically bad, it's not intrinsically evil, then it would make sense that sort of behind the scenes there'd be things brewing that would be kind of working towards taking back the power, or giving back the power to the people. You know, and that's in a way what the founding fathers of America did, but it was immediately infiltrated. And, you know, it didn't take long for them to kind of implement that same system of hierarchy in America, and it's more subversively. So it took us longer to realize, but we have, you know, and perhaps JFK assassination was a big eye opener for a lot of people. And perhaps that's what initiated certain initiatives behind the scenes, realizing, well, we can't take this head on. We got to take it more from behind the scenes. So if that were the case, then this has been going on for, you know, more than 50 years, this plan to be developed to take back the power and give it to the people. And one more thing I want to say about that is, you know, this isn't just America at all. I mean, Q is not just America, even though, sure, there seems to be strong ties to Trump, and there's all the patriotism being thrown around. This is about the world waking up, taking back its power, and working together to do that. You know, that's what it's about. You can have all kinds of other theories, but I'm telling you this based on just pure observation. This is empirical science I'm using here. This is what's going on. You know, and I might be using my heart as a scientific instrument, which I do, but everyone should do that. And I recommend it, you know, because when you do that, you'll know that the earth is flat and that the world is waking up, and this is what it looks like. So.
Hey, very nicely put there, Aaron. Levana, what do you think about all this then?
As far as the QAnon, or yeah, you know, I'm not. What's up?
Yeah, go for it. Just say what you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. You know, I've kind of thought that maybe QAnon is kind of a controlled opposition, or, you know, just the fact that there's so much Trump support with that. But you know, I haven't looked into it really that much to say. And the thing is, you know, the truth is always, it's never black and white. There's always going to be, you know, untruths and things that are misconstrued and mixed in there. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, so I'm not too sure, but I do know that the world is waking up, and that, you know, any method of getting this kind of information out is a good thing. So, it just kind of proves, you know, that we're not as ignorant as we used to be, you know, and there is always something good to be taken out of everything that, you know, that we come across. So, but yeah, maybe I need to look into it.
Well, one of the latest posts, it said that there is like 5,000 plus new people or new eyes looking at these posts every day, right? Now, if you think about it, there are 5,000 new eyes looking at it every day. Take time to write in there, I love what you're doing with this movement, Q. But have you looked into the earth being flat or something like that, you know? So we get at at least there's 5,000 eyes looking upon that, you know, at least. There's more than that. I'm sure there's more than that because, you know, I mean, there are so many sites. It's immense.
Well, I really hope Q is a good thing because a lot of people trust it and want it to happen or want it to be right, and I'm just not sure because anything they're telling us, they never tell us anything, even if it's right or wrong. They're not going to tell us, and there it all is being printed in front of you. Just not sure about this, but anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, I feel you, Karen, but I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately, you know, because it is such a big thing and so many people are looking to it for answers, you know, that it's still a win because there is a lot of truth coming out of this, you know, this avenue. I think it's still ultimately a good thing.
If it's the president, it's a bit of a strange way to go around telling everybody, isn't it? You know, in a post.
This is another interesting point. I mean, you know, he would have. All right. So if you think about it, let's say there was a force that had kind of infiltrated. That was the white hat group that had kind of infiltrated our government and was trying to make this change, and was even like in cahoots with Trump to get him into office so that he could help facilitate it. Well, he can't let on that he's associated with it, not at all at first, and then and even the ones who were doing it or even proposing it, well, this is treasonous for probably many of these people. You know, they're high levels in government, military. If they wanted to make a change for the better, well, that's treason according to the current administration, or the Obama administration would have been. And so, you know, you kind of got to go.
Oh, is he frozen? Ah, he's frozen in mid-talk till he comes back. Oh, he's back. Are you back?
I'm back. I'm frozen. Oh.
Yeah, you just froze from it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
well,
say that last.
And so let's say then Trump's on board. Well, he still can't let out that he was involved because there was treason going on back in the Obama days, you know, when they first brought it up. And now he could kind of pardon them, you know, and he could say that he. However, yeah, am I still cutting out?
It froze for a second again. Carry on. It's probably the subject matter, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Carry on, Aaron. Finish what you were saying.
Yeah, so you know, you just look at it logically. It's like he wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't be able to associate until the right time. Now, if this is all correct, then there will be a time where he will sort of join. You know, he'll come out and disclose that he was working with them. He'll come out and probably at that time. I mean, I don't know if he would disclose flat Earth yet. But just, you know, a lot of other things might come out. And I would think that flat Earth would come out shortly thereafter. And one thing I want to say to that, too, is just that Trump's whole Space Force, I think that looks very similar to when Kennedy said, we will go to the moon. We will go to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go to the moon. Why would he have said that? You know, Trump very well might know that the Earth is flat and that you can't have a Space Force. Why would he say that?
Well, can I just say something, Aaron? Right, I'm going back a few months now. When this whole Space Force farce came out and about, even before that, when they were talking about, you know, we haven't sent anyone to the moon for a long time. You know, there was a press clip there with Buzz Aldrin stood beside him or whatever, looking a bit shaky and a bit nervous and what have you. You know, and he's like, "What? We're going back to the moon? What?" You know. When he came out with that statement, I began immediately thinking, "What is this? This is bollocks, man. This is some shit. This is totally the opposite of where we need to be going." You know, and I'm thinking, is he calling their bluff? Is he like saying, "Hey, how much more money do you need, guys? You know, of course we've got plenty of money. How much more money do you need? We'll give it all you want. What? You want to go to Mars? Of course we'll go to Mars. We'll go beyond Mars." You know, exactly. I think in some ways it felt like he was calling their bluff, saying, you guys are morons, right? But I'll go with it. And then he's saying, how much money do you need? Where do you want to go to? Well, let's do it. We'll have a space force, you know. And then eventually, whenever that day is, but hopefully it's soon, he'll say, are you morons or what? Of course we ain't going to flipping Mars or wherever it is we're planning on going to. Of course we're going to build a space force. You can't, you idiots. Are you clever or are you stupid or do you work for NASA?
Can I just say that Joey's joined us? Levana, Joey's joined us. 2 Hawaiian people on our Hangouts today.
Aloha.
Right on.
What island are you on?
I'm on Kauai.
Oh, beautiful. Right on. Well, I'm in the mountains of Maui, so I live in Wailuku.
Oh, really? I thought you were on Oahu. Okay.
Hey, aloha.
Aloha.
Right.
All around the world and on all islands.
Aloha, bro. Yeah.
Aloha, brother.
Brada.
Oh, yeah. I like your work. Putting it out there. It's awesome. It's good to see other people in Hawaii, you know, speaking up and having a voice and you know, not being ashamed or afraid to tell it like it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not the only real, because I'm super vocal, like every single day vocal, but I'm not the only one here in Hawaii. There's Adam Ising, Kellen Smith, Lisa C.M. George, Claire Sapua. There's all kinds of us that do it all the time. So there's something magical about these islands. And, you know, I'm not originally from here. I'm from the mainland, but I lived here for 22 years. And it brought out the courage in me. Because you know how it is. You got to be Pono, right? You got to be right. And as soon as you find out this information, what do? You get off the fence and you got to be Pono.
Yeah, I was just talking about that, how you once you know, it's like, how can you live with yourself without saying something or doing something once you know, no more apathy. Meet you.
Anyway, Joey's joined us a bit late. Just to explain, Aaron's here, Flat Earth Dude's here, Patricia's here, Roxane Glen's here, Levana's here, Levana Lomma. We've got Astral and Kosta. That's who's on this hangout. Big hangout today, guys.
It's like an all-star hangout.
Right?
Hey, guys.
I was just about to ask you guys a question about, we were Taurus, and I was going to say, what do you guys think? Do you think that that's kind of a setup for this? You know, a lot of people say that they think there's going to be like this fake alien invasion coming at some point, like, and that, you know, people are going to be saved by aliens or something. What do you guys think about all of that?
I'm a biblical
have an
guy.
opinion on that?
I'm a biblical guy, so I think that the alien is set up there for a reason, and who knows, right? But they set it up for a reason. I think that, you know, during the time of rapture, there's going to be certain people that are kind of zapped up, according to the Bible, like as a lightning bolt. And I think that they set up this whole alien thing so that whenever that does happen, the people that are left behind won't know that it was God rapturing people up, and they'll say it was aliens. But that's just my kind of fun theory that I go through. But I think that they're doing it for a reason, right, or they're doing it so that they can have some kind of fake alien ship come and us believe that it's them. But I think the first one I said is more accurate. In my mind, I think that people are going to be raptured up. Like, let's say, for example, Karen was raptured up, right? It's a bolt of lightning. And you saw it right in front of your eyes, right? And then there's all kinds of other missing people. Well, then you could blame it on aliens, right? Instead of thinking, oh, Karen was a good person. She got raptured up and she got zapped up and didn't have to go through the rapture. So that's my opinion. I
agree. Totally, Joey, right? Rapture. I think we are all aware of Project Bluebeam, right? We've known about this for years now. Mm-hmm. And I think something is in the works that all these chemtrails, I mean, come on, it has to be something to do with the chemtrails in the sky. They're going to be using that to, you know, validify our belief in aliens or in Jesus coming down or Muhammad coming down or whatever, because I've also read into it that they can project whatever belief you believe in, right? So, and obviously they've been tracking us for God knows however long you've had a mobile phone, right? As long as you've had a mobile phone, they've been tracking you. They know exactly where you're going, what time you're going, where you eat, where you shit, where you sleep, everything. Believe me, they know absolutely everything about us. You know, Joey, they can make they could take you out, make a duplicate of you, and just you do the walks that you've been walking for the last 10 years, man. That's simple. But I think that this blue beam is it's gonna come about because of blue beam. That's my take on it anyway. You know, all the chemtrails, the blue beam, we know about this. You know, I mean, just be aware, look up into the sky, and if there ain't a star there or sun there or moon there, and some sort of bigger apparition, don't believe it. We've seen cities over in China, and we've seen spaceships here, there, and everywhere, and all sorts of anomalies. You know, don't believe it. I mean, okay, you can see it to believe it, but what I mean is, it's fake. It's something that's projected for you to believe in, and it's a fabrication. That's all it is.
Imagine this, brother. So after, let's say, people like Karen get, you know, taken up and they don't have to be here for the rapture, right? Let's just say that Karen was one of them, right? And the rest of us, you know, let's say I'm left here, and I believe it was aliens that took them up. Well, the government could just trick all of us and be like, oh my God, we have these FEMA camps for you guys to come in where there's safety. Instead of having us fighting against us, they have us running to them. What's the best way to catch a bee? With its own honey. So you trick us, you know, Trojan horse style, and you get us running to them instead of fighting against them, thinking that it's aliens, when in fact it was the rapture. You know, they're smart, but they're not smarter than us truthers. But the regular sheep, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to probably fall for it hook, line, and sinker.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay, I have a lot to say about this.
Hashtag DEW. Hashtag DEW.
Yeah, exactly. My sentiment exactly. I think. What are they?
Out in California, right? They're already testing it out. That fire is incinerating buildings and leaving trees intact. You know, like it's leaving plastic.
I mean, they're up to it. They're up to it. Like, they have technology. I mean,
what do we all know? We all know that microwave safe stuff is plastic. Yeah, so it's leaving plastic and it's incinerating concrete. Like it's taking down houses and not burning the bushes that are going up the driveways of the houses. And you can see like super straight lines. Like, so I think, and you know, they're calling it the holy fire, right? Because it started in the Holy Valley or something. So they already get the holy fire.
Leads us to the question, is Revelation happening now? I believe so. And if not, might as well live like it is, because it just forces you to be the better you.
I think, Joey, that we've been in Revelations for the last few years, man. I seriously do. Yeah, you can just look at, read the news headlines and whatever, you know, what's been going on, and you can see for yourself what's been going on, especially like weather-wise and things, and discord amongst, you know, countries and this, that, and the other. It's coming to a head now, and I'm pretty sure we are in end times.
Can I ask everyone a question? This is something that I do speak about when I'm out on the street talking to people. When they say, why does it matter? Yeah, they say, you know, if it's a ball, if it's flat, why doesn't it matter? It doesn't even matter anyway. What does it matter if it's a ball or flat? And for me, I'm gonna put it out there. When I was asleep, yeah, before I was awake, and I thought I was on a spinning ball, okay, I watched that movie Contact with what's her name? Oh, the girl with the accent.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster, that's the one. And like, I bought into that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I bought into that movie. Like, I really bought into it. Like, there was a part of me that was that little girl wondering what was going on in the big universe and what kind of stuff was going on, and could there be aliens? And my dad was an avid Star Trek watcher. And once upon a time, I believed that things like, you know, out of this world, like natural disasters, i.e. an asteroid taking the planet out. I bought into Nibiru, so I bought into the whole planets crashing together, and I believed in what I was taught about the sun eventually consuming Earth because it's going to blow up and eventually everything's going to come to a standstill anyway. And once upon a time, I subconsciously lived in fear. And when people say to me, why does it matter? I say it's obvious why it matters, because as soon as you know you're being lied to, and as soon as you know you're not on a spinning ball anymore, you know that those things don't exist. Like, don't exist. Like, outer space doesn't exist. Like, the threat of the sun consuming Earth doesn't exist. Like, all of that confifus balls, as I call it, just is a whole fictional story of let's keep them hemmed in to a certain type of fear. Like, and people go on as if they don't live in fear, but they do. They do, because if they bought into the fact that they come from a big bang and they live on a ball, then they have bought into the same fact that they were taught in the indoctrination that the sun will eventually consume them. So that you're subconsciously made to believe that no matter how many kids you have, one day eventually the planet's going to get consumed by the sun. So it's all just going to be for nothing one day anyway. And that's what you're made to believe, but you don't hold on to that every day. It's only when you're trying to wake someone up and they're saying, well, why does it matter? Why does it matter? I don't care if I'm on a ball or not. But you do, because you just said space was cool. So you know, for me, they don't realize that they're walking around living in fear of the fact that there could be a massive meteor attack or a massive comet that could take us out. But yeah, sorry for chiming in on that one there. I just wanted to say it before I forgot.
Roxanne, I love what you said about that. I agree with that. But I also wanted to say, I forgot to say hi to you. You're my hero. You're the bravest flat earther there is out there. You know that? You do more street activism. No, really. You do more street activism. You and Fokker. And a couple of other people. But really, you're so brave and you're inspiring.
Human interaction.
I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because you inspire me to be more active too. So I love you. And I love everybody on here. But you're so brave. I love it. Keep doing it.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Right at you. Right back at you, my darling. Right back at you. Thank you. Thank you. And that's to be said for everybody that's out there having human interactions with people. It doesn't matter if it's your local garage or a friend of a friend or just someone at the coffee shop, wherever it is. It could just be standing in a queue waiting to get money out of the cash point. You know.
In my opinion, Roxanne, in my opinion, just you know, just a difference of opinion though. In my opinion, I think it is important to do those one-on-one interactions, but when you have a group of people, like let's say 15, 20 or more people doing activism in a peaceful way, I think that is like 100-fold more impactful because it's not that random dude you jumped into, it's a movement, and it's proof of a movement because you see a bunch of people. So I think those street activism, when you have a bunch of people, I think that's where it's all about. It's good to do the interactions individually, but when you have a group, that shows power.
Yeah. I saw CC and Richard Lopez down at Times Square, New York the other day. They were with Mary, I think Mary on the sea level or Mary on the level. They were out in Times Square, New York, and apparently, you know, hundreds of people saw what they were doing. It's a big step going out and meeting people you've not met before and going and linking up with people. But I think it's a step that needs to be taken, you know, by those that want to do it, by those that want to take that leap.
It's the next phase. It's taking off the training wheels. You know what I mean? It's going from video to real life. You know, we go from Facebook post or Twitter post, whatever, to all of a sudden going on video. And, you know, sometimes we go from groups to doing it on our own page. It's just like a level of training wheels. But when you can go out there in the street with other flat earthers, get along with them and peacefully convert other people or at least plant seeds, then you're riding on your own with a group. You know what I mean? And that's the way we're going to win, actually. We don't have to protest. We shouldn't protest. We shouldn't riot, graffiti. It's just peaceful activism, planting seeds. They can't arrest us for it. They can't do anything. And if they tell us to get out of there, we'll leave. No problem. You know what I mean? We're compliant, but we're planting those seeds. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, well said, darling. Well said.
Can I just say that Kosta's turned his camera on? Kosta, do you want to say something? Because you've been a bit quiet.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks to Roxanne. The same that Joy Rocha was saying really inspired me. I like to hear her talking. I could sit and listen to you all night. And you have that accent, that London Cockney accent, whatever you call it. It's really inspiring. I really enjoyed it, and especially when I saw you in South Bank there protesting, and behind you was Blackfires, if I'm not mistaken, and around there is all the city of London, all this Illuminati or whatever that make these fake stories, and I was so happy to see you in that place, especially. It means a lot to me, and there's a place there as well that's called the Cleopatra's Needle.
Yeah.
You know that place there, yeah. So that there, when I saw it, it really made me think why they put this thing there. What is a obelisk from Egypt, from Heliopolis? I think they brought it there all the way set it up there in
We
that
thought it
place.
was a place to set up shop and stay right there where that kind of the obelisk was. So it's awesome to see that resonated with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, because that obelisk not only resonates something, it does some kind of frequency. I don't know, part of their black magic rituals, whatever it does. It also shows that it comes from Cleopatra, and it was brought. I think it was to Queen Victoria. I'm not sure. I think it was the Queen Victoria time, and it was brought to her like a present at that time. And actually, there is a lineage, a bloodline that goes back to her, so they're kind of related.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's why it's there. It's massive importance to show that all this control system we have now, it's not just the last few years, 500 years. It goes back to the time of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
All this kind of system manipulation, it comes back from them. And imagine also in Greece, in ancient Greece, they persecuted Socrates, the greatest philosopher. They persecuted him to death, an old man, maybe he was in his late 70s, because he believed in fake gods. But he was believing in the true God, actually. And they condemned him to death, to take the poison to die. I mean, this thing is going on for thousands of years. And I'm glad we're out here trying to sort things out and bring peace to this place, to this flat place. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Now that
for
we're
everything.
awake, we've kind of got a responsibility to do that. Now that we're awake,
Yeah.
we can't go quietly into it and not do anything about it. We've got a responsibility to the next generation and those that go after us.
Can I just say, the thing I love about Flat Earth is that Flat Earth does not segregate anybody. Flat Earth is everybody, all humanity. I mean, we're not talking religion in that sense that we only take, certain religions or whatever. No, this is all of humanity. This is a human thing, And if anyone's new to this, Flat Earth, I mean, you can listen to hours and, I mean, absolutely thousands, if not millions of hours of content that are on YouTube nowadays to do with the Flat Earth. There is so much information. There's just every day there's just, you can't keep up with it. I don't even look anymore, barely, I don't look into the Flat Earth because I don't need to in that sense. But of course I stay abreast with new things every now and again to see what's new and what's coming up and new people that are coming onto the scene, But yeah, we
all ancient cultures had rules and laws that said if you saw something happening and you didn't take part to help it out, that was a crime. You know what I mean? So it's a moral obligation. You see somebody being attacked, you put your own body, hopefully you don't get attacked yourself. But you have
you say something at least, don't you? You say, hey, what are you doing?
You yell out loud, even if you're afraid. Yeah. Even if you're afraid and you're a coward, it's okay. You can say, help, somebody help. You have to at least do something. You know what I mean? And that's what us flat earthers have done. We found our higher self.
Joey, can I just say something, right? Not many months ago, I got attacked on the street here, right? And I got pinned down on the pavement by some flipping idiot. And as much as I shouted, help me, help me, help me, and people passed by, people drove by, not one single person helped me. Seriously, man. I could have been getting stabbed or whatever. Nobody flipping helped me, And it's a shame.
Everybody wanted to, but everyone was too afraid to.
Well, yeah, we're living in that fear-based society,
It's fear-based. All they have to do is go there and honk their horn.
All they had to do, Joey, all they had to do was shout, hey, or whatever, to get the person's attention.
I called the police.
And I would say, get over here and help me, please. This guy's abusing me, man. Get him off me, I was shouting that, but they couldn't hear me or whatever, But no one came to help. No one gave a fuck, and that's the problem. People are just too scared to say anything. I've even heard about a story. I've heard a story going back. I've heard a story going back years. Sorry, let me continue. I've heard a story going back years now a woman was raped in a subway carriage where people were watching her being raped and they did nothing. Nothing. This was in Stockholm. They did nothing. And I'll tell you, if I was on that train, I would have said, hey, what are you doing, man? I'd have gone over there and I would have done something for sure. Because I can't stand by and watch something like that happen. You can't.
The thing is, they've changed the law, Astral. They've changed it where you can't help each other, and it's almost against the law to help each other. And yeah, some Americans, you're not even allowed to feed the
Karen,
home.
as long, if you know what, I disagree with you, because you can go up to somebody and say, hey, what are you doing? That is not interfering with the law in any way, is it? It's interfering, yeah. But you're not doing anything in that sense.
But people don't want to get involved in case, you know, they changed the law here. Do you remember I told you about that? I can't remember who he is now, that elderly guy who shot the boy going out of the house, and then they changed the law here so that it meant that somebody can come in and do all these things in your house, and if you hurt them, they can prosecute you, even though they broke into your house.
Yeah.
And so
that's breaking into a house. What I'm talking about is if you were to see someone being raped, on a train or a bus or whatever, right? Does that mean that you're not allowed to go over to them and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong? I mean, of course, I'm not going to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I'm going to say, what you're fucking doing, you dickhead. Get off, you know, stop that or whatever, you know. At least let them know that you're seeing it, you're watching. Or you could be filming with your phone saying, this is going out live now, man. You're busted. You know, get out of that one kind of thing. Because that's all we need to do. There was a
child, wasn't there, on some steps? And they left this child, this little tiny child, to sleep on the steps. Nobody helped it. Just left it there. It's
so
kind of how they bred. But we do care, don't we? That's why we're here. Carry on, Aaron.
Exactly, we do care. People do care, and you know, the idea that like human nature is to fuck other people over or to lie. That's not human nature. Human nature is to love people. It's to love life. And that's absolutely, without a doubt, I'm sure in any of our minds, human nature. And so what's happened is we've been programmed otherwise. So everyone's running around with these programs. They don't realize they're programmed, and that program actually, like, it shields them from love. It shields them from even being able to love anything or anyone, including themselves, which is why we're in this situation, because they allowed it. We allowed it. We allowed it as humanity. We allowed this dominant force to come in and take advantage of us and exploit that we have free will and we can choose to think whatever we want. Well, they decided they're going to plant the thoughts into our minds using media, using propaganda. They have been programming us for longer than we care to admit. And this is the result of it. The thing is, though, the human nature is coming back. The human nature is, you know, for us to all be living in peace, harmony, and an enlightened world. And that's built into our human nature. It's intrinsic. It's innate within who we actually are, that we are going to be an enlightened realm of ascended masters living in this place, and not only in this place. But, you know, that's the thing, is we're not there yet. We're going there. And so how do we get there? Well, we got to wake up. We got to realize what we are, who we are, and then we got to help everyone else wake up and realize those things. And that's what we're going through right now. That's what Flat Earth represents. That's what I do believe QAnon represents, is that force that's catalyzing the collective to do this together. You know, and all these things, and, you know, all these atrocities, these human atrocities, it's all fear. It's all like, the cause of it all is fear. Okay. And so what we don't want to do is put more fear out there. You know, we want to hold love in our hearts. We want to have love towards each other. And we want to always be on the quest for a greater awareness of the light and a greater relationship with the light. And that's what we focus on, you know, because if we start looking down like the dark occult world, you know, some interesting stuff in there, some things that could make one enlightened, but more than likely you're going to get lost in the darkness. You're going to take on dense energies that will pass themselves off as more enlightened beings that do not have your best interest in mind, or do not have the greatest interest of the whole collective in mind. And that's a trap that happens to so many people. And so it's not just fear-based thinking. It's not just negative thinking. It's that we have to be committed to 100% the light. And so all this other stuff, even like thinking about this stuff, is not conducive to what we're really trying to do. You know, even just, okay, I read a headline and there's a bunch of pedophilia going on in Hollywood. All right, I'm aware of that situation, but I'm not going to dwell on it any more than that. Because what can I do other than give my light and support to the world that we can resolve this situation? And I can take certain action, you know, and all of us here are taking action, which is great about this panel. You know, we're all action-oriented people, and we're bringing that truth out into the world and expressing it and sharing it, you know, and that is the most powerful move that anyone in the world can do. And so we're teaching by example, and here we are. We are the trying to choose my words here, but essentially we are the way showers that are going to be the chosen ones.
Can I just jump in real quick? Can I jump in real quick, guys? I gotta go actually. So I just wanted to totally agree with you, Aaron. And I'm honored to have been a part of this hangout with all of you people that are doing amazing things. And, you know, too is, you know, people like us being out there and giving other people the courage to, you know, live in the light. And, you know, yeah, we definitely fear, and the masses know, the masses are controlled by fear, and the powers that be know that, and they use every method and you know, fear of not enough, and you know, all religion and borders and these types of things to keep us, you know, living in this state of fear, keep our vibrational frequency low, so we can't transcend or spiritually. And yeah, so you know, we just need to keep pushing forward and keep doing what we're doing. And you guys are all awesome, but I do have to go, unfortunately. I kind of stayed on supposed to, but I look forward to doing this again.
Thanks for coming on, and much appreciate your time. And thank you for everything you do as well, Levana.
Aloha.
Right, thanks you guys.
See you again.
Aloha.
See you, Levana. See you soon.
Aloha.
Lovely seeing you again, Levana. Lovely seeing you. Thank you.
Lovely meeting you,
darling. Thank you. I'll be back as soon as I can. Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye, darling.
Bye, Levana.
Brother Aaron, what you were talking about, like just like she said, I totally agree. Let me make this statement, and I think it just follows up what you said. You know, it's like, you know, we saw Jaws the movie and it made us afraid of the ocean. We saw Poltergeist and it made us afraid of the closet. And then we saw Lord of the Flies and we're afraid of, you know, not having a government, right? But the way to win, like you said, is fear. You know, fear is the only thing to fear is fear itself, and fear is a liar, right? So what all of us are doing is we're all showing our face and going out in the streets and on video. And what I say to the 72 people that are watching right now and the hundreds that will watch later is do the same thing that all these average, normal, everyday people that on their screen are doing. Show your own face on video. It's safe from your own home. That's what's going to be the difference maker, is everyone can hear, because the sound and that show of solidarity is what's going to win this for us. So I implore everybody who's watching, if you haven't done a video yet, jump on. Come on somebody's show, do your own show, and be brave. It doesn't matter what your hair looks like. Doesn't matter what you know. It doesn't even matter if you don't know how to explain stuff well. Just say what you believe. And then I'll jump on there. I'll support you. So will everybody on here. So that's what I wanted to follow up what you said, Aaron, and just say that, look, to win is all we care about, right? We can focus on the pedophilia, the vaccines, but then that's just something that's you know, that is a reality. But what do we do? We win, right? How do we win? Show your face. Really, that's what it's about. It doesn't matter how much you know, it matters how much heart you have.
Mm-hmm.
So when I, a couple of years ago, I was a flat earther, obviously. And I sort of like, you know, I hadn't talked to anyone really. And it wasn't really a thing yet. And I decided I was going to create a meetup so I could meet other people. I did bring it up to various people and, of course, did not get the best response. I created a meetup, and there was like 10 people that showed up at the first one, and you know, that was really great. And one thing that started coming from that was I started getting phone calls from producers. And these producers wanted me to come on various shows or do documentaries about Flat Earth or other things. And so I started doing that. And the first one I did was supposed to be on the Dish Network, a show called The Edge, ironically. And so I was really nervous at first because, you know, this was before YouTube exploded with Flat Earth, and this was before anyone was really talking about it too much at all in the mainstream. And so, you know, part of me was thinking, well, if this is true, then they're going to be very incentivized to kind of shut me up. At the same time, I just felt like, you know what? One of my theories is that fear is powerless. Fear has no substance to it. And so I figured, you know, that idea that they're going to take me out because I go on a show and talk about things, about the truth, you know, I realized, well, the only validity that would have is if I give it validity. And so I chose not to give it validity. I went on the show and I talked about how the Holocaust, you know, was all just, there's massive deception, cover up around the Holocaust. I talked about a whole lot of things beyond just Flat Earth that would be extremely controversial. And here I am. You know, I've done at least 15 appearances of that sort, and I've never even had trolls. I've never even really had anyone, you know, come at me directly trying to attack me. And I feel that a big part of that is because of my attitude about it. You know, I'm not asking for it. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to get attacked now because I've come out with this way. Instead, I'm thinking, you know what? No, I'm free to speak the truth, and I'm going to prove that nothing's going to happen to me. You know, which then just supports this theory that fear is substanceless. And so we should just proceed as if there is absolutely nothing to fear.
Aaron, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I do it all the time too. I have a store that I sell Flat Earth clothing at 7 days a week. So I'm always having to talk to people about it. And I do videos and stuff like that. And nobody's ever threatened me. Nobody's ever, the FBI, the CIA, the police, of course, none of them have done anything, but even average regular people, nobody's done anything other than maybe heckle me. So if we can get that out of our minds, like Aaron said, and throw it away and be like, look, what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone's going to heckle me, make fun of me, call me a name. That's it. That's all that's going to happen, really. And nobody can fire you from your job. They really can't. People are afraid of it, but they really can't, because it's against the law to fire you over thinking that Bigfoot exists or the earth is flat. You know what I mean? They can't do it. So it's just the fear. The fear is all we have. You're spot on, brother Aaron. I totally 100% agree.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's and it's all across. It's not just Flat Earth either. It's like there's so many things, and this is actually a pattern that we can use as a tool of discernment, because we can see that, let's just say there's two forces in the world. There's good and evil, to simplify. And well, good has a certain resonance to it. And so when it comes out, it's going to resonate with those who are aligning with truth. And then evil has another resonance to it. And it's going to, you're going to be sort of repulsed by it. And, you know, the words might even be exactly the same. They might just be coming from a different person, you know? And that's the thing, is like, we have the tool of discernment of truth, and we can see in the media, for example, you know, what are they slandering? What are they attacking? What are they saying? Well, the narrative is probably the opposite, right? Because the force of evil is it's trying to protect its own survival. And that's the thing, is, you know, there's spiritual survival and there's physical survival. And what we as light beings are doing is demonstrating, you know, what it looks like, what spiritual survival looks like. In essence, you know, the human spirit is striving for survival through us, right? However, there's also physical survival, and that's kind of the animalistic nature. And really the evil force is just stuck there. They're stuck in physical survival. And so they're trying to perpetuate their ego at all costs. And that's why they'd be willing to do all these very inhumane things for the sake of their own benefit or their own family's benefit. or their own livelihood. And so it's this constant, they're constantly scraping up the wall trying to save themselves. Well, now all we have to do is stand around and look. All right, so who's sitting here just being calm and present and taking a look at the current situation, and who's climbing up the walls trying to get the fuck out of here, right? And that manifests in a lot of different forms. One of the main forms it's manifesting in is in the news. We see all these people freaking out. We see the news freaking out right now. The news is absolutely freaking out. They're losing their power. They're losing their propaganda ability. Okay, now that's the evil force. The good force, the light force is growing. 5,000 new QAnon members every day. Who knows how many flat earthers there are every single day adding to the mix. And, you know, logic tells us that we are becoming, if not we are the majority. QAnon says, you are the majority. All right? Flat earthers, even though we're still sort of, attacked in various ways from the collective, we are quickly becoming the majority. And as soon as we hit that tipping point, we will be there in one night. And so then the next day, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when the majority of the collective is aware of the truth, or at least that the truth is much greater than we've been told?
I've pondered this question, right? What happens when people realize we are living on a flat earth, or when the truth comes about, because it will come about? I've pondered this, and I'm thinking, well, where will they go? They'll look online. Of course, they'll look online, and they're going to find people like you, Aaron, like the Sun and Moon Group, like Globebusters, Jeranism. They're going to find all these different channels and what have you, and ask for information there. Well,
how long do you reckon they're going to talk like this, though?
No, but the good thing is this: we are way ahead of the game, if you know what I mean. I mean, they're not woke up yet. They're not aware. Okay, they're aware of it, but they're not aware of it in that sense. If you understand what I'm saying, they have heard about flat Earth. They don't know about flat Earth. They just heard about it. They don't know it like we know it. We know the size of the Earth, the speed of the Earth, supposedly. We know all this science. We know more science than the flipping scientists do, and I mean that. I think when it comes about, they're going to come to people like you, Aaron, and us, Sun and Moon, or whatever, all these other channels that are on YouTube or BitChute or, Gab, wherever. They'll find us, track us down, and then start asking questions. Okay, what is it all about? And then it's there where we really start, because then we will have to come together collectively as a unit and say, right, sit down at a table. What have we got? Because really we've got shitloads of stuff. We have so much information. We have a vast amount of knowledge, but it's all here and there and here and there. It's like look up at the sky at night and you see the stars. That's our information. Each star is our information. We need to get it together. Do
you know what I find really crazy though? Even if you just pick, say, NASA, right? There are so many mistakes that everybody can see in a finding. Excuse me. But nobody's questioning it. Not one politician saying, hang on a minute, I saw a paused astronaut. That can't be. That can't be. They're supposed to be live and together. Whatever it is. There's some of these things that are happening are really big and they're just not being talked about at all. No one, not any of them are questioning anything. Not saying, hang on a minute, there is something wrong here with this and this. I mean, even those fires, like the fire only hits the houses and anything that's metal, glass, and it leaves the trees.
And the plastic. Don't forget the
plastic. Yeah, anything metal, plastic, car tire. The car tire. The wheels are melting. It does all that, but it leaves the trees.
It's painfully obvious that it's an attack. Painfully obvious. I mean, why were they running cloud generators during the hurricanes last year? That's painfully obvious. Elon Musk says you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. I mean, they're rubbing it, they're shoving it in our face too. And part of that could be that they're just really that that pompous. The other part could be
showing us something's wrong, and they've got to keep frightening us, because that's James. He's in the chat room. He'll come on Sun and Moon next week. His version is that anxiety is a money-making thing anyway, because obviously we're going to the doctors now, we're depressed, all these things. It's all about making money. It's all about money again.
If you think about it, can I interrupt you? If you think about it, all of our soul existence is about generating money. Think about it. There's no way about. You can't get out of it. If you're born in a forest or whatever, in the middle of nowhere, okay, you fend for yourself and you live for yourself. You're out of the system. You're out of the matrix. But if you're born in a town or city and you're born in a hospital, you're in the system without even giving your consent for it, if you understand what I mean. Because we're registered. As soon as you're registered, you have to take your baby to the clinic. It has to have its inoculations. It has to be, is it a boy? Is it a girl? Give it a name, you know, and away we go. And there you have it for the next, until they die, you know. And you're in a system. You're in a little slave ship, aren't you? Your citizenship. You're in your citizenship, and away you go. Off, set to sail, new shores. Maybe you're not going to find any new shores, but you're going to definitely find, or they will definitely find new ways of taking income from you, regardless of what your circumstances are or whatever, you know. Yeah.
And they convinced us that it's real, that it's finite, that it's that we have to in order to be a deserving human being, we have to work our slave job. We have to pull in this money. If we're not working a slave job, we're not adding anything to society, is what we've all been programmed to believe. And that's, you know, I mean, that's even more ingrained in the ball earth. You know, that's just like, it's just fact in everyone's mind that this is just how life is. You know, you just have to go to work, even though you don't like your job. You know, you have a job that is way underpaid, even though you went to school. You know, and that's just the way it is, and we just have to live with it. And there's nothing we can do about it, and that's how all of our. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking it's chronic, isn't it? We actually study, and we learn to do the job we're going to do. How ironic is that? The job we're going to hate to do, if you understand what I mean. They teach us, hey, what job we have this careers advice officer at school. You're like 12-year-old. What do you want to be when you grow up then? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, well, you're kind of good at mathematics. How about doing this? You're kind of good at science. How about doing this? Hey, you're good with your hands. I see you're good at woodwork, metalwork. You could be an engineer. You could be a carpenter. You could be this. You could be that. They're giving us all these options before we've even finished school.
RS in the chat room's put citizen sheep. Yeah. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, chat room, by the way. Always got to say hello to the chat room.
The earth is a ball.
Not. So terrible, isn't it? I mean, just sometimes when you actually, especially when you're learning it, or like, I'm not saying we even know everything yet, because we don't, and the plot thickens, but when you start understanding that just everything is a lie, it's cruel almost. It's just like we're in prison. They just forgot to tell us.
Not everything is a lie, Karen. Not everything. There's one thing really important. You are not a lie. You are not a lie. We are not a lie. Like we know who we are. We might not know who we are, okay? But whatever we are is not a lie. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. It's the only truth that we have. It's the only truth that anyone has. So if someone says, "Oh, you know, I know what the model is, or I know how it all works, or I know this or that," they don't really. They don't know. No one knows anything except that I am. I am is all that can be known. Nothing else can be known. And so, like, you know, all this other stuff is hubbub. It's just like random distraction. It's all distraction. Everything is distraction. I mean, living in a house, distraction. You know, it's distracting us from nature, our true way we should be living. You know, freaking politics, entertainment. It's all distraction oriented because it doesn't want us to just notice the most obvious thing right in front of our face, which is our face. It's who we are, you know. And
yeah,
that
it's all a
truth,
soap opera, isn't it? The whole thing's a soap opera.
Yeah, for whatever you do not sit in silence and meditate. That's, you know, there's so many reasons why we've been programmed to sort of have that fear or anything, you know, and like the awkward silence. Well, that's what that's all about, you know, because when a group of people is in the same presence and they are all silent, guess what? You're experiencing each other's divinity, whether you like it or not. And that's kind of awkward for people who aren't used to being naked at that level. And so we have to fill it up. We have to fill it up with words and sounds and, you know, TV, so that we don't actually get to the point where we're observing the present moment in all of its glory. You know, I can connect with you guys, not just because we're on Hangout, but we are all mentally connected. In our hearts, in our minds, we are connected right now. And that is coming through.
Aaron, yeah. I love you, Aaron.
I love you too, Karen.
Well, I love everybody on here. I love Kosta, Astral. I love Roxanne, Patricia, and Joey. I love you all. But yeah, I know Aaron a bit more.
You know, we love all of mankind.
And the chat room. And anybody who's going to watch.
Well, chat room is part of mankind too, surely. Or
and womankind.
Chat room. Yeah, well said. We love everyone. Thing is this, we need to discern from shit and shinola. We need to discern from what is good and what is bad, what is correct and incorrect, fact from fiction. Look, use your eyes and just see, look and see what's going on. Ascertain for yourselves exactly, Karen, what's going on, you know, and don't be like a little, okay, yeah, but I haven't got time now. I've got to go to a meeting. I've got to go to my, forget about everything. Forget everything. Concentrate on yourself, your own self, and your own where you are now, here and now, your present self. What's going on? What are you thinking? And what is it all about? You know, and just think, have a little think, you know, play around with thoughts. I mean,
please listen, it is a bit like confusing for people, I think, who are waking up, because the whole point of waking up is it's all about you. But you need to know who you are. And then once you know who you are, then we can all help as a whole. Unless you know who you are, you can't help anybody. So it's a bit like that, isn't it, as well? That's what I think. Sorry, Kosta, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to ask Aaron about his project, Lumina. He was saying something in the beginning. What is it about?
This is what it's about. It's about essentially developing the technologies and techniques for us to realize ourselves and realize heaven on earth, realize an enlightened society. That's basically it in a nutshell. You know, there's a lot to that, and there's a lot that I've been learning all along the way that it just keeps on expanding. And there's more and more, like, for example, just recently with this Isaac Cappy coming out, I actually reached out to him and talked with him a little bit, and kind of the Hollywood area that are essentially not only are they bringing things to the surface, but what they're also very much doing is trying to figure out what to do about it.
Okay. So is it like online? Is it
He's just frozen for a second, Kosta.
Okay.
That's it. He's back now. You just froze for a second.
So
I froze. Okay.
Aaron never freezes. Aaron lives in Los Angeles. He cannot freeze.
Yeah. It's more than 100 degrees outside, so yeah, no. But
is it like online? Is it?
Say again.
What is it like? Like online? Is it community thing? Is many people involved?
It would be more. Yeah, it would be more of a network. A network of people
Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
Basically
Not
bringing
again.
truth back, bringing integrity back, if it ever was there, I don't know. But essentially conduct.
No.
A big part of what I've been building is essentially a tool that would allow us to work together, to collaborate, that does not allow corruption. So it's corruption-proof technology. And so therefore, you know, on into the future, we won't really have to deal with these same kinds of problems, because it's not possible to have power over others or to screw people over their due, which they have coming to them because of what they put into a certain project. And so, you know, we can apply that across all sorts of industries, but I think one of the big first ones is going to be film. And I'm very driven. I've actually already got a producer who just told me that she wants to be the flat Earth producer. Essentially, we're going to be putting together a whole thing, because the ideas that are in flat Earth are amazing. You know, whether some of it's true or not doesn't matter. The fiction that could come from this is going to be so powerful. It's going to be a whole new world of film, and I'm excited about that. So I'm really going to drive this thing from that perspective, as well as working with some of these other already very powerful people in Hollywood that do want, you know, they're good people and they want good things for the world, and they want good films to be made, because that hasn't been going on for a while. Yeah. So that's an example of you know, something that I'm doing sort of through the vehicle of Project Lumen. I've also created Iron Coin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Technology is built into it.
Sorry, you just lag out occasionally. Carry on.
Do I? Yeah.
So
it's those satellites, Aaron.
It's those satellites. Yeah, they keep on moving. So let me hop off. I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, okay. It's just sometimes one of those things. Yeah. Have you not heard of Aaron before, Roxanne or Kosta?
No, the first time.
Yeah, he comes on Sun and Moon every now and again. Maybe, I don't know, not maybe, yeah, but maybe like once a month or something. And Aaron's sort of been there as well. Like Levana, before we even got to YouTube, they were coming on Hangouts with us when we were doing things just, you know, for the group.
Cool. No, I've not heard of him.
I just wanted to say, if no one has seen Aaron's work, he has a website. It's called Earth. Aaron, sorry, Aaron, you're back again. Can you tell us what your website's called, please, so that people know?
EarthAaron.com, is that what you're talking about? I have a bunch of sites. ProjectLumen.org.
Are you on Instagram?
EarthAaron.com.
Not really. No.
ProjectLumen.org, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one, yeah.
Yeah, those are the sites. If no one has looked into them, you should look into them, you know, because this will be awesome. When these sites come about, they will be awesome. I know that. But you can continue, Aaron. Let us know a little bit more about them, please. If
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, where else? Well, a big part of this is I have been, for most of my life, trying to meet people, network myself to be able to create a team. And so this is a huge part for me, is that I'm putting together a sort of team, as well as we're going to take it all the way to an intentional community. So we're going to have Irontown will be an intentional systems and ideas, and it'll be kind of a reality show in a certain way, but also it'll be, you know, there'll be tons of media coming from this town. And it will be literally the studio and network where we're creating these films, and so it'll all be in kind of the same place, but it's just going to be a force for this movement, as well as an example and a prototype of how this could be implemented anywhere else, as well as sort of a funding engine that can help to fund all kinds of projects along with other communities of this sort. So in essence, we're building communities of light all over the world through this, and that's going to be where probably all of us will be living in the future, and I think it's going to be a major force for.
Sorry, Aaron, just say those last couple of words again. You just, yeah.
I guess that didn't work. I said that, what did I say? I said that this force, Irontown, the Iron Revolution, Project Lumen, it's all going to be a force for governance in the world. And so I think of it essentially, this is the upgrade. This is the upgrade of the Constitution. This is the upgrade of the world's governments. Essentially, we see that everything sucks, that all the world's governments suck, they're all corrupt, and none of them are really serving the people at all. And if the governments weren't really there, actually, we probably wouldn't have 99.9% of the problems that we do have in the world today. And so, you know, and the idea of just removing the governments isn't a very good one, because that's just not going to work. So instead, what we do is we create an alternative. We create an alternative infrastructure.
Yeah, and that's, oh, cool, he's there. Sorry, I thought you'd finished then. But no, it just lobbed you out just that last little bit again.
Yeah, they're on to me. They don't like this conversation. That's about it.
Aaron,
go ahead.
Can you pass me? Can you put? I know that you've done this before. I haven't actually put them on the Hangout link at the moment. Can you put in the chat on the side of ours? Can you put all your links to your websites and things, and I'll put them in the chat room.
You broke up for a second. Say it again. Put what?
Can you pass the links on the chat? You know, the one that's on the actual Hangout, and I'll put them in the chat room.
For the yeah.
When you think about it, we are awesome, aren't we? I mean, look what we're doing, all of you. It's great. And it's a great banner, Roxanne.
Oh, yeah. Cheers, Aaron. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Show, you don't have to if you don't want to, but Aaron hasn't seen your banner.
That's all right. But it is very nice. It is very nice.
You want me to do your normal?
Show it again, please.
I'm more than happy to if you want.
Yes, please show us if you don't mind, but don't fall off the stool.
All right, I promise. Okay. Let's get it here. Okay. Try and hold it up.
Trying to think of the term I use for that. That is freaking loud. It's large and in charge, baby. That's what that is.
Sorry, it's so big. It's gone underneath my dining table and all sorts. Sorry. Right, let me get up on the chair. I can hold it. Try and hold it properly anyway. Okay.
Large and in charge.
Out wide now, so that should be reading that you have been told, you've been lied to.
36 square feet
of flat earth. Loads and loads of information.
Hey, Aaron, what's the curvature on 36 square feet, man?
So, yeah, that's it.
36 square feet. Not much.
It's probably, not much.
Probably, I'm going to guess 0.666 inches.
So, like 66 millimeters, man. Mm-hmm. No. That's a beautiful banner.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great banner, Roxanne.
And that's a great place, Speaker's Corner, where you can just post that.
Big time.
No problems, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I love that.
Just folding it up, and as I said, it's so nice and lightweight. It can go straight into a bag like this.
Beautiful.
So that's it wrapped up. I'm ready to get bagged up and go.
And you paid for that out of your own pocket, right?
All by myself, yep.
What did that set you back?
Not going to disclose that publicly. But,
it's at least 100, right?
Some coin had to get paid for it, and a lot of effort was put in designing
Roxanne,
it. I didn't have the skills, unfortunately.
Can I ask you, was it less than £100 to make that banner? Can I ask you? All right. Can I ask you another question? Was it less than £50 to make the banner?
No comment.
Come on.
Well, I appreciate.
All right, less than £100. We know that.
I'm just curious because I might want to get one. You know.
I got a really good recommendation from Jason of the Disbury family. I got, he's on FE Start. He's on this website right here, festart.co.uk. He's got a YouTube channel as well called Jason of the Disbury family. But he's a guru. He's a bit of a wizard, so I'd get in contact with him.
I have a question to everybody, right? You've all seen these like kind of flags that you can have on a beach. It's kind of like they call them, and it's kind of almost like a mesh. You can see through it. It's not, a weave fabric like solid, like cotton or anything. It's like a mesh. You've seen them, haven't you? And it's a flag, a banner. And my question to everybody is this: if there's some print on this banner, how can I remove it so that I can print my own, print on it? I need to strip it of print. And I've tried bleach, it didn't work. So I need to ask anybody who knows anything about printing and how inks are printed and this, that, and the other. This banner needs stripping. I've got 5 of them. They're 4 meters high and they're awesome. And I want to put some flat earth banners up. I need to get these stripped from what it says at the moment. So if anyone can help me, please let me know and I'll try anything. Believe me, I will try anything.
Okay, that's a plea from Astral there. I've got a question for Aaron. Aaron, Spirit Flong, whatever his name is, extra. He would like to know, or they would like to know, when is Project Luminous available? Sort of, when is it happening?
In the future. Soon, very soon. I say that every time I'm on your show, Karen. So I feel like this is deja vu. But yeah, I've just had so many things been happening, coming up, unforeseeable, and challenges. And so I keep on, it's like I keep on getting days, where I'm not able to make progress on it. And so that's been challenging, but I'm so close. So I just, it's hard to say. I mean, in the following days, I'm hoping, but yeah, I don't want, we'll see. I don't really have anything major that's blocking me right now. So, because like last week I had to go to LA and do the Comedy Central thing. And I've had a lot of things like that come up all on the way here. And so, yeah. It's soon. It's very soon, and it's looking really great. It's all really good. It's just there's a lot to it, and also something I'm really working with that's making it take longer is just the fact that I'm banking that I'm going to be all these websites are going to be under attack as soon as I launch them because there's just a lot of stuff.
They want to know it's going to be free for the people. There's not going to be a fee, I suppose. That's what they mean.
Yeah, no. Oh no, there's not going to be a fee. No. No, I don't believe in. I mean, there's going to be things that will be like extra that will cost money, or really most of it's going to be more like you're paying other people money that are producing content, kind of like Patreon or Kickstarter. It's going to be like that's where money is involved more, or kind of like eBay, you're trading products and you're giving someone money for that product. It's more like that. But the core of it is free, and in fact, you'll be able to just mine Ironcoin by going to the sites and engaging in the sites and sharing your link. You'll have a referral link that will get you credit for referring people to the sites or the projects, and then you sort of get you get coin for that. And so it's a unique way to distribute a cryptocurrency. But I think it's going to be really effective because, well, you'll be able to get a lot of it for free. You don't have to set up a computer or mine, and mine it like a normal cryptocurrency. It's pretty easy. Like anyone will know how to do it. And
can I just say quickly, Aaron, as well, not to cut you up there, but Spirit Flong says, cool. Can I ask Aaron to put me down for initial 10K Iron Coin, please? Fantastic. So for him, how does he do this? There
you can
go.
get it right now. I have a wallet, so ironwallet.org. You can sign up, get your wallet, back up your seed phrase, because that's what makes it your wallet and no one else can access it. But if you lose your seed phrase, you might lose access to your wallet. And then I will send anyone who sends me their wallet address, I'll send them Flat Earth Coin for free. And then I just ask that you contribute to Project Lumen. You can do it at projectlumen.org, or you can do it at ironcoin.org, where you can just do it. There's a PayPal there, or also I have a few crypto addresses. And I'll send you some Iron Coin as a reward for your contribution.
I have a question, Aaron, to you from Suzette Ann in the chat, asking about the Jamboree in LA on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of September. What's going on?
Yes, the Jamboree. All right, well, I was hoping to be way more organized than I am. I was hoping to be way more launched, but so I haven't really put much out yet about it. That's one of the things that's also coming up very soon, will be information about it. But yeah, it's still happening. I think we found a location, and we've got some Flat Earth entertainment that's going to be there. And we've got a few people that have said, a few big names that have said they're going to be there. And then I'm also trying to get some producers and some film kind of people there, so that essentially we can start this ball rolling on getting these guys to talk. We can talk to people. We can get producers and flat earthers talking is a big part of what I'm trying to achieve here. And so yeah, it's still in the works. I've been doing all this stuff, and so I'm trying to. It might not be as big as I was originally announcing, but I do have a presentation I will be giving. I will be conclusively proving that the Earth is flat and motionless, and I will also be. We will be having a party, the Jamboree, and that's about all that's organized at this point. We also do have we have a couple proofs that will be hopefully demonstrating, like on Friday or Saturday. But yeah, it's going to be in LA, and the area. I mean, it's going to be kind of south of LA is the area we're looking at. We got this. Actually, there's like this community of flat earthers that have beach access, so that might work out. So yeah, we're going to try to do it there, and it looks like it might work, but I haven't heard back yet. So yeah, that's the Jamboree. Any other questions?
Hey, well, I just, so like the concept of Project Lumen. I can't wait till it's more, what's the word? What do you call us? Flat plane like then? Over the flat plane, and more people know about it, Aaron.
Right. Oh, I hear that. Yeah, and I think it'll be pretty. It'll grow pretty quickly, I do believe, once I actually launch it, because there's a lot of things built into it that'll help with that. And then, because a lot of it's kind of like, it's almost like an MLM in a way, multi-level marketing system. But it's, it's like I have that to help this thing grow. It's helped the initiative grow, and it's purely intentioned. It's altruistic, and so therefore it's going to grow because of that as well. But also, ultimately, everyone will be able to achieve a certain level of abundance with this, and I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised at how that works.
Well, yeah, we wish you all the success with that, and that Sun and Moon has followed you with this project, and yeah, it's great. Can't wait, and thank you, Aaron. Well,
thank you, Karen. You've been my platform. You've been my soapbox, since the beginning. I really am grateful for that. Even before I launched the coin, we were talking about Lumen and all that. So, yeah, we've been doing this for a while, So thank you.
Yeah, because we need some of the next stages there. We need something. We can all be running around like headless chickens, going flat, we're flat, and all that. Round and round and round. But we need to move on as well. Otherwise, it's never going to move on. We'll all be just running around like headless chickens.
Yeah, I think
We've got to start putting other things in place.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of there's a lot of parties that might have been interested in us running around like headless chickens. And so we've seen a lot of drama, haven't we? And who knows, like, exactly how that works, but it's something to be aware of for all of us, especially the forerunners, the way showers, of how cunning the devil is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, do not trust anyone. Do not trust anything. Do not put your faith in man. Put your faith in yourself. Put your faith in your own heart that you can discern the truth. Because there's going to be there's already been so many different ideas thrown around. Oh, QAnon's here to save us. Oh, QAnon's a conspiracy theory. Oh, QAnon's a psyop. Of course, all of those are going to be presented. So which one is the truth? Well, that's where we have to learn how to use our heart and our discernment to know our truth on that.
Yeah, exactly, Aaron. I must admit, you hit the nail on the head there. Use your discernment, and yeah, of course, take everything that you get with a pinch of salt, but use your own discernment and analyze it and think, could this be correct or is this wrong? Is this correct or is this a pile of crap? Separating the shit from the shine all, as I say. That's from Terence McKenna. I love that. But we need to discern. We need to be very, very, awake to just be open, be more receptive, be more free thinking. Free thinking, that's the word. We have to be. When I first told someone about flat Earth, right, the reaction I got was absolutely. I mean, you can do like a sketch upon it, and it's one of these sketches where you tell somebody they're very quiet, very quiet, very quiet. You can see the face is getting redder, 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 brighter, 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 and then suddenly they explode with a whole barrage of expletives. You get the story, you've heard it, you've done it, you've experienced it, and that when you get a reaction like that, you must be close to something, because getting a reaction like that is not normal unless you're close to something. I can't get that away from my head, man. That thought alone, it bugs me.
I just read the quote, the reason people hate you is because your spirit aggravates their demons. I think there's a lot of truth in that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of truth in that, and that's kind of what, a lot of times with the people who are illuminated, who are bright, who are awake, they have a bright spirit, and that bright spirit it's almost blinding to these people who are very much carrying these dark, dense energies. And that's who they associate with, right? They associate with these dark, dense energies. And so when a bright spirit comes along, well, that light is uncomfortable. And it's just like I was saying about the awkward silences. That's when the light from a way shower will cause reaction, will cause uncomfortableness in all these people. And they might lash out at us, and it's not necessarily that what they're saying isn't necessarily true. It's that they are reacting out of their own insecurity, because ultimately they know they see everyone sees everything. Okay, first of all, let me clarify this. Like, everyone sees everything. You cannot hide anything in reality. Okay, the physical illusion that we perceive appears like we can lie. It appears like we can have a certain appearance, and the appearance can be based. It's not actually what it appears to be. And so for that reason, we think that it's possible to lie. We think that it's actually a thing, but the reality is it's impossible to lie, because everything is seen. And we all see everything. We just don't necessarily consciously see it. And so even though, you know, Neil deGrasse says that the Earth is a pear shape, and you know, like we all believed it at some point, right? Well, but we never believed it. We always knew that he was full of shit, as well as he knew he was full of shit. He might not believe it. He might not believe it consciously, but he knows. Everyone knows the truth. The truth is painfully obvious.
Yeah, but they don't know that they don't know, do they? The other bit, though, they don't know that they don't know.
Exactly.
That's not my quote, by the way. That's Robert Forsh's.
Yeah.
Comes on our channel. You know, he goes down to the beach and takes many marvelous pictures of the sun and the moon and that. He always says they don't know that they don't know.
Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be doing things sort of unconsciously. You know, they're going to react emotionally, and they're going to come at you even though you're just speaking pure logic and reason. You know, you might say, does this look flat? Does that horizon look flat to you? And they're going to blow up at you. You know, and well, that doesn't make any sense logically, but that's because
they usually blow up on you the moment they realize that you're telling the truth, but they don't know how to react to it, so they blow up on you.
Exactly. And that happens all across the board, and also with the collective. And so that's what, you know, we can see what's going on with the media, how they've attacked Flat Earth, how they attacked other things. You know, that's the blowing up. That's the reactionary state that it's the ego survival of the dark force, essentially. You know, its survival is being threatened. Here's what it's doing in reaction to that to try to protect its own existence. And it's very logical. Like, this is a very logical process, you know, when you look at it with logic and reason. If you look at it through the emotional lens, then you're not going to see it, and you're going to react just as well as everyone else is reacting. And this goes...
Sorry, Aaron, can I just add to that, right? People's reactions, I found that, yeah, okay, going back a few years now, it was a massive, crazy reaction. But I flat smacked someone yesterday, and they were dead cool about it. Like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you know, talk about the moon and stuff, you know. Yeah, I don't quite believe in the moon landing. And, you know, this guy is an old guy, like 60-odd-year-old or something, but he's with it. He's willing to listen. He's so cool and calm. That first reaction I ever got, the first person I told about Flat Earth, it was my girlfriend's cousin. And he, when I say overreacted, is an understatement. I mean, that is an understatement that he overreacted. Seriously, I've never seen a reaction about anything so violent and so, you know, so deep and so how I words fail me. Seriously, I cannot think of the words because I'm flabbergasted. There's a word for you.
Well, Roxanne goes out on the line. So, Roxanne, what do you feel about that? Do you think people are beginning to listen now? And
oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, wow, yeah, way more than they were a couple of years ago. I was only having little interactions with people, but apparently, you know, people that I've gone out into the streets with have been doing it for months, and even they're saying, you know, people are way more open to the suggestion of it now than they ever were before. You know, like I was saying earlier on, if someone doesn't know about it themselves, they have a friend that knows, and their friends have been talking about it, or someone at their workplace was talking about it, and they're now interested in hearing more about it. So, you know, there is still the people that are going to call you a lunatic and brain dead and get a life and, you know, do something constructive. You know, there's always going to be those people, but, you know, a surprising amount of people stop in their tracks to look at the banners or to listen to what someone's saying, especially Trinity 4, Dave Manel and Eco Dave Media and John Smith Globally and there's so, you know what, the list is endless of awesome public speakers that when they get going, when they start going, it's amazing seeing them having one interaction with just one person, and that one interaction has turned into 4 people standing there. Then it turns into 8 people standing there. And before you know it, there's like 12, 14, 20 odd people all stood there listening to what someone is saying, because it's going against everything that they've ever known. And I've even witnessed someone calling me an idiot, no, calling me stupid. And within 10 minutes, while I was live, he went from calling me stupid to taking a leaflet to walking off, having shaked hands and explaining it to his family. So for me, that was well beyond the possibilities. I never ever thought that there would ever be any instant gratification in getting someone from being not looking into it and taking the PISS to genuinely walking off, scratching their head. And it's almost like that classic meme where you see someone having that laughing face and 2 minutes later they've got that serious face on, like, hold on, what? Got a point. So I think it's escalating. If there was a graph to show, the graph would be definitely going in the favor of everybody starting to pay attention to the fact that there is a lot of evidence that goes against everything that they've been taught.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man.
I think have you come to say something, Kosta? Kosta's put his camera on.
Yeah, Karen, it's time for me to go. I'd like to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for having me on, Karen. Roxanne, keep on what you're doing. I'll be following you, listening to you every time. You have my
Yeah, you're off
support
on holiday,
always.
aren't you, Kosta?
Yeah, I'm going on holiday. I'm going on holiday next week. Yeah, I'm going back to Cyprus, the island of Aphrodite.
Going back to my roots.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Hey, Kosta.
Yeah.
When you get to Cyprus,
Yeah.
make sure you have a good time, man. Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Stop thinking about things.
Like, because he's going back with a different set of eyes now.
Have a glad time, my man.
I was telling people about the flat earth. Now I'm going to make speeches and tell to my friends about this stuff.
All right.
See their reaction. See their reaction. See what they're saying.
Costa, you should actually try and do a live hangout whilst you're
there.
At some point, if you can.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, good.
It'll be nice. We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch, Astral, and you, Karen, and
yeah,
we'll see when
you get back.
Yeah. I will speak you from there. I'll call you from there. I will send you a message.
Oh, okay then, cool.
Yeah. Okay, and thanks everybody. Thanks, Aaron. Good luck with your project Lumina. I think it's very interesting. I'm with you. I like it a lot. And to close down, I would like to tell you my belief about the truth, because I hear this word. We are saying it a lot about truth, and it's actually an entity. It's a live being. It's an entity. Okay, it can appear to you. It can talk to you, and it's a female. It's a female entity, and it can, if you really believe in it, that like we do, like we're doing now, and we are progressing in this field of truth. It definitely is there, and it's listening, and it's with us. I feel it, man. Okay, so good luck, and God bless you guys. Good night.
Mwah, Kosta, have a nice holiday. Speak to you over there then.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Kosta.
Bye.
Love you, Kosta.
Bye, Patricia. Bye.
Good night. Calimera.
Patricia's there. She's gone quiet.
Don't sound so surprised.
Patricia's always here. You all right, love?
You sounded so surprised.
You're drinking tea, eating biscuits, aren't you? And listening, taking notes. I know you, Patricia. Big time note taker, aren't you? You've probably got reams and reams of paper littered all over the floor and tables and on your couch. Right.
Yeah, I have. There's nothing written on it because I just like chucking bits of paper about.
Don't say that. Of course you're making notes.
Making a mess, more like.
Anyway,
sorry.
Great, you're there,
on.
Patricia. It's really great you're there. Mwah, to Patricia. And throwing your empty pieces of paper.
Okay.
Getting on a little bit now.
I would just like to say, if anyone's got any questions for Patricia, please let us hear. Because it's very rare that we hear Patricia. She's awake. I know it's 20 to 2 here for me now in the morning, but Patricia, you're awake. How about you take a few questions from the chat, and if you can't answer them, we'll help you answer them. How about that?
Oh, go on then.
Anyway, anybody that's on an after hangout and Patricia is there, she says a lot more off air than she does on air.
Can't stop me when we're off air, you know.
Love it.
We'll wait for questions to come, but just to ask Roxanne, are you out on Speaker's Corner on Sunday?
Yes, indeed. I'm out in Speaker's Corner this Sunday. I'm out doing activism tomorrow. This weekend is the first weekend of the Flat Earth Camp that Tom and Victoria are doing. There's quite a lot of people that are booked to go there. And word on the street is allegedly Dave's giving a talk there this Sunday. I say word on the street because I haven't got confirmation of that, but I do believe that is the case. So yeah, I'm at Speaker's Corner this Sunday, the 19th. And then next weekend as well, which is the 26th, they're at Speaker's Corner as well. And that is the weekend in between the Flat Earth Camp. So quite a lot of the people from the Flat Earth Camp are coming up to London. So that is going to be the pinnacle of the Speaker's Corner activism for August, because after that Sunday, the 26th, it's only going to be the last Sunday of each month we're going to go. So there'll only actually be 4 more Speaker's Corners before the end of 2018. So with that being said, there's going to be in excess of probably about 25 plus flat earthers going to be there, and vegans and chemtrail activists and all sorts alike. And we're going to try and really ramp it up and make a lot of noise about the truth. We've made a lot of connections with people that are there talking about other subjects that we can also agree on. So we're going to try and use that to our advantage to make some extra noise. There's an opportunity to get filmed by other channels that are there as well. There's also another camp after that, following the 26th, which I'm going to go to as well. I'll be there the 27th, the 28th and the 29th of August. And there's also some activism in the camp as well down on the South Coast. I'm not sure whether that's the first or second week or both weeks. There's quite a few bits of activism going on with that respect. And then there is going to be, I was in a conversation with some people today, and it looks to me like there's going to be the length and breadth of the UK done in one foul swoop with a massive UK activist tour. We were thinking to walk it, actually. We worked out it was about, about a month's worth of walking, and to walk with banners from, Penzance to John O'Groats, or the other way around. And then we thought about cycling, and then we thought about support vehicles, and then we thought, no, and maybe it's better just to maybe vinyl wrap the vehicles and really make quite a high impact down the motorways, and stop off everywhere and have static activism and mobile activism in every city that we stop in. So find a place where we've got, massively high traffic of people, and keep one section of the activism static and allow the other section of the activism to maneuver around the town, to kind of get more eyes on the prize, so to speak. And then after that, in September, there's going to be an island stretch of the activism. We're going to breach over the water to Ireland and go and hit the major cities of Ireland. And that's going to be in September. And I think Dave Marsh is going to be involved with that as well. And that's John Smith Global Eye that's pioneering that. So I can't confirm everyone that's going because I don't know. And at the end of that month, again, Speakers Corner, that'll be on the last Sunday, which works out to be September the 30th. Then the last of October, last of November, and the last of December, which just happens to be the night before New Year's Eve. And
what day
all
is
of
that?
that, I can guarantee all of that will be live, and we'll have as much live as we can of all of it.
Oh, amazing, Roxanne.
Sounds good. I was going to say, I've asked John Smith if he's going to do a Scandinavian tour. And if he's going to do a Scandinavian tour, I said to him, I'll quit my job and I'll come with him, right? And I mean that.
Europe. He definitely wants to go into Europe. He's a man on a mission. He's not stopping.
Well, I'm thinking we could do a Scandinavian tour, right? Start like up in Norway or Sweden or something, down to Denmark, you know.
Astral, it sounds like away for months.
And your point is,
I'm not sure how long his trip is. Can I just say thank you, Roxanne? Thanks for saying that. And
good.
Yeah, I'll put your link.
Roxanne, you're doing the best. Good. I just want to say, Roxanne, you're doing the best. Obviously, you're doing the best because when, like you, like John, people that are out meeting people, that's where it happens. Because face to face, you can't get away from it, if you understand what I'm saying. When you flat smack someone face to face, when someone comes up, talks to you, and you have a discussion face to face, you can see in their eyes, look in their eyes, and they say to you, "What, you think the earth is flat?" And I say, "No, I don't think the earth is flat. I know it's flat." There's a big difference.
It's a knowing. It's a knowing, not on a spinning wheel.
And I say to people, please research it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. You know, this is what Mark Sargent said a long time ago. Don't believe me. Do it yourself. Do your own research. And that is what I say to everybody. If you do your own research, then this thing is busted in a minute, I'll tell you. If everybody today did research, tomorrow the world is flat. Well, it's flat today as well. It was flat yesterday. But you know what I mean. I yield the floor.
And that's one of those things. That's one of those things that like is an indicator for us. Is when someone encourages you to do your own research, that's a good sign. When someone says, "No, just trust me, this is the case," that's a bad sign.
I did all the math and it works out.
I just say that there has actually been a couple of questions for Patricia. So I hope Patricia's still there. Mr. Mensa wants to know, did you make the cushion? And then Super Leeds wants to know if you're a Leeds supporter.
I didn't get the second question, but the answer to the first question is yes, I did make the cushion. And it was my first attempt at sewing a heart-shaped cushion. And that's why it looks a bit wonky.
And the words read on there. What do they read on there, Patricia?
Oh, the words non-compliance and clear the fear.
Very good.
Thank you for that. And then Super Leeds wants to know, do you support Leeds?
It just goes all funny just when you say that last question.
No, there's a Super Leeds. Someone in the chat wants to know, do you support Leeds football team?
I don't support any football team, so sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Roxanne, I wanted to say awesome job. And I think you and I should definitely connect on this stuff that you're working on because I think I could probably help. And yeah, it sounds like you're kind of you're moving with the kind of energy over there that I'm trying to move over here. And I think, you know, the resources that I'm near LA.
Okay, cool.
Hey, this is flat earth at its best.
That's right. And you know, I mean, yes, this is what it's all about.
This is technology. It makes it possible for us to connect.
And here we are. We have all across the plane.
Yeah, we might hate it, but it's how we've got to do it, isn't it? Really.
I've put my email address in the group chat on the Hangout.
Awesome.
Hey, and if you can help each other, that's even better, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Cheers. It's almost 5 o'clock.
Can I just say that, yeah, we've been going for nearly 3 hours now. About 3 hours is a sort of fairly good time to start rounding up a hangout. Roxanne's told us what she's going to do this weekend and for the next Sunday and then once a month after that. Great banner as well. You'll be taking your new banner. Aaron, you've got something coming up, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I got the event coming up. Let's see here. There's a there is actually a flat camp in Northern California. I'm going to try to make it out to. I think it's the 24th of August. And then I'm actually going to be, the Comedy Central thing should be coming out in the next couple weeks. I also have, I was on Cartoon Network, and that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks too. So both of these are supposed to come out pretty soon. And then Cartoon with the main character of this show to Antarctica to research or to interview the scientists and see the ice wall. So that'll be interesting.
You got a lot going on, man.
And you, Flat Earth Dude, you've got something going on as well. Do you want to repeat what you're going to be doing then?
Friday night. Really, really late for you, Karen. We're doing a night run on Hollywood Boulevard. We're flat smacking. We got lights, cameras, action. Flat Earth flyers, I'll be handing them out. Just hitting people on the street. We're going to live stream it to Flat Earth Hollywood YouTube channel. It'll probably be our first video on that channel. So
Hey.
Hopefully
Sounds good, Flat Earth Dude.
It'll be fun. Well, you never know how it's going to turn out. But Hollywood's a weird place, so I'm sure we'll fit in just fine.
You won't even stick out. That's
you won't even stick
part.
out, right? So that's
thank you, Flat Earth Dude. Is Joey there? I'm not sure if Joey's there. He had to go and do family stuff. Joey. No, I don't know if he's there. Astral, do you want to say anything?
Common population. Can I say that?
Okay.
How do you spell that?
Common population. I don't even think it's a word. I've bastardized it, I believe. But common populate. It's wrong. I know it's wrong. I'm saying it wrong. Something wrong. I just wanted to say, Flat Earth Dude, I will be there Friday, listening, taking part if it's possible. But yeah, I take my heart off to you, brother, because I love that stuff that you do, and it's just amazing, that people can follow along, live stream, see what's going on and what's being said right there and then, and that they can react to it. I love it. It's awesome.
It is awesome. Thanks, man. I hope
go Flat Earth Dude. Go Roxanne. Go Aaron.
I'm going to be wearing a trench coat, a lab coat and a clipboard. And I'm just going to say, hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, certainly. How are we going to start, though?
Are you close to Aaron? Maybe Aaron can come.
We're fairly close, a few hours at the most, I think.
I would come, but I probably will be busy. I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you got a lot more going on than I do.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Flat Earth Dude, if you see some celebrities,
man, we'll be hitting them up and
find those clubs, those nightclubs, those restaurants, those places. Look for the stretch limos, and the Hummers and all that kind of shit, and then say, hey. I know you. You're on TV. You're in films. Hey, I bought your records. Hey,
I'm sure they never get that.
Yeah, no, but I don't know how it is. It's
hey,
crazy. I met once Bjorn Borg, right? Totally
Yeah.
normal guy out in the park in Tivoli in Stockholm. And I goes up to him and said, hi, you're Bjorn Borg, aren't you? He goes, yeah. All right, cool. This guy over here wants to take your photograph. He's a budding tennis player. Is it all right? He said, yeah, no problem, man. So he stood next, he got off his table, came over to the guy, stood next to him, and I took the photo of Bjorn Borg and this guy, like, you know. So, I mean, people, we're all people, aren't we? We are all of the same flesh and blood, born of a mother, you know, of a father, and brought to this earth, the flat earth, I do believe, in the same way, more or less. But yeah, we're all people.
You don't
regardless
believe.
of status.
No. You don't believe, man. You know.
No, I don't believe it. I know. Sorry. Thank you for that, Flat Dude. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes,
I stand corrected. I know. I know.
I know it. We know it's flat. Not. We don't believe. No more belief.
Yeah, it's tattooed in your brain, isn't it? Now you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. No more man. Belief.
Yeah. Belief is what got us in trouble.
The tooth fairy beliefs, the whole and all of that crap. Belief.
Can I just say, Patricia, do you want to? Is Patricia there? Do you want to say anything before we go, Patricia?
Yeah, couple of things actually. I brought them down. No, I'm only joking. It's just fantastic to get so many people together that actually are physically doing stuff. You know, not just talking about it. I know we're talking about it tonight, but you know, behind the scenes, people are actually doing stuff, which is wonderful. And to thank you all for coming and you know being part of this Family United. There was another question from the lovely Trouble About, asked to ask me if any of my family were awake. To Flat Earth, no. But to everything else, you know, conspiracy, yeah, they are pretty much most of them. So anyway, thank you to everyone, and I can't go without saying I love you all, and you take care.
Oh, lovely, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia.
Nice.
We had Levana on the panel today, so thank you very much to her. Was there anybody else? I'm not sure if there was someone else that I'm not mentioning.
Joey.
But Astral.
Rocha. Joey.
No, he's still there on the panel, but he's had to deal with his little girl. So, yeah, he's sort of doing something at the moment. But I thought there was 9 of us on earlier on. Anyway, thank you to Levana. Thank you to Astral. Thank you to Roxanne, Patricia, Joey, Flat Earth Dude, and Aaron. And I'll put links in this hangout afterwards. But thank you for everything that you all do. So, thank you very much to the chat room.
Right back at you, my darling.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Karen.
Yeah. Together, we are awesome.
Yeah,
Together, we are awesome.
We the people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, much love, and yeah, all inspired to do something. And yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we're back tomorrow. So see you all tomorrow. It's Crow 777 tomorrow. So see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.